So King gets the message from Angel saying that the college kid wants to speak to him, and you have correctly interpreted that is Marcellus Scipio.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to the dancing minstrel, Scipio is waiting for you. When he sees you, probably the rest of the crew come in as well. And when he sees you guys come in, he stands up and he approaches you and he says, we should talk.
Sure. Lead the way.
Not here.
That's fine. Lead the way.
And he'll take you out into the city and he'll get on a carpet. And the two of you are going to take a carpet to one of the northern districts of Capital, which is a very posh place. I think it's called Castergate. And he takes you to, so the flight, this is, I think, only the second time King has ever taken a carpet ride. But Scipio is just making small talk on the way there and asking kind of general questions about, like, how do you like staying at the Dancing Minstrel? Do you guys actually spend time there? How long do you spend? Do you just sleep in the dungeon? That kind of stuff. And then he takes you to a tavern. It's a much nicer tavern than the Dancing Minstrel. And it's got like booths and stuff, which the Dancing Minstrel doesn't have. It just has tables. And everybody there recognizes him, and he grabs a table. This place is called, he refers to it. He says, we'll go get something to eat at the Cup of Blood. But the sign outside says the wine chalice, and it's just got like a goblet of red wine pouring out. And he sits down and he buys you a drink. And he says, I thought you should know how things went with Lady Rosavar. So I think the moon elf that we serve has taken care of the problem.
How so?
Well, I'm not exactly clear on that. There was a long debate between some of the senior members of the order about what to do. You've met the Vile Silencer. He was very much in favor of just wiping her memory. But it was decided that that's not really our style. So we left her as she was, and I personally petitioned the Pale Light the Elf that we serve, and she answered, and she took care of the problem. Lady Rosavar is gone.
Gone where?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly. The Vile Silencer and some of the senior members of the order think that then she probably moved Lady Rosavar in time, and he like picks up his glass and from one place and drops it into another, because it's a kind of something the Celestials like to do. So we don't know how much time we've been bought. Weeks, months. But Lady Rosavar is probably going to come back.
So that means the church is just going to know about Ringwell.
I think by the time this is done, the entire city is going to know about Ringwell. It's only a question of time. And we've always been on the clock. So it's important that we speed things up, if at all possible. You should know that I think you did the right thing. But at the end of the day, I mean, you could have very easily just dispatched Lady Rosavar, and you didn't. And that was tough. But bringing her to us, we're not really equipped to do that kind of stuff. In fact, it's sort of why we rely on the chain. You guys can do things that we can't. We're sworn to stop evil, and we take that seriously, no matter where we find it. No matter how hard it might be to do, no matter how much we like taking the easy road. And doing something like wiping Lady Rosavar's mind, after much debate, we decided against it. So I've already said this to Boots, but in future, you have to be careful how much you tell the Vile Silencer.
That makes sense. But killing an innocent knight isn't really my style.
Well, you're going to have to do a lot of bloody things before this is done. dealing with something like Lady Rosevar, not the least. But that's why we use the chain. I lobbied to use you, and they listened to me. So it's something of my reputation on the line. Don't bring something like Lady Rosevar to us again.
Understood.
How's Ringwell going?
I think we've hit a block. We've explored everything that we can in there. There is the golden door with the runes around it that one of the Black Iron Pact has gone through, but it's been shut. Lady Rosevar said it was by her. We went down the other corridors. We encountered some sort of plague.
A plague? What kind of plague?
Like some kind of bacteria, virus-based, parasite-based plague.
And what else?
It seems to be protecting something called the Cauldron of Zoranon, which...
Cauldron of Zoranon. He takes out a notebook and he writes that down, folds it up and puts it back in his breast pocket.
Yeah, that's something that your order should probably look into because it seems bad.
Well, that's what we're good at. We can find these things out.
As far as the stuff we found written, and I'll show him the map if he wants a copy of that.
Okay, he'll take a copy of the map.
As far as the information we've gathered in there, it says that this is where they stored all the evil artifacts, primarily.
Yeah, he says, he points to the map and he says, I think there's quite a bit more of that down there, and it's going to get worse.
Well, on this floor, it seems to be only that. So.
Well, we're hoping you'll find more lore and more weapons to stop Ajax with. So that means we need to get through that door.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
So right now, the only lead we have is the woman who's posing as part of the Black Iron Pact says that there's another way through the door. The way that the Black Iron Pact got through there was a wish.
Wishes are hard to come by. Does she have any idea? Does she have any other ideas how to get through that door?
She says she knows how to do it. She's not going to let us unless we can get her out of there. There's some sort of large circular, we assume, keyhole, but we have no indication of what that key is. So right now, our best bet is to get her out of the prismatic barrier.
And how do we do that?
Either Gemstone Dragonborn or destroy our psionic crystal, trying to bring it down, which we're not super inclined to do.
The psionic crystal, what does it do?
It's what would we? Our battle master used it to wreathe his weapon in some kind of prismatic.
This is the Vile Silencer told me about this. This is a gemstone. This is a chunk off a gemstone dragon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the manifestations of a gemstone dragon can do almost anything, and all your battle master is using it for is to
cleave his enemies, the chain's enemies.
And is he willing to give up that crystal to let this to get the information out of this woman?
The crystal is a great tool to the chain, so we're not sure that the information is worth losing that. If there was a way to replace that power, then maybe. But
we'll have to work on that. If I can find some way, I'll talk to the Vile Silencer. I'll bring this to him. Something that Slim could use in lieu of a crystal that he really doesn't do much with anyway. He's only using it for that one thing.
Correct.
So if we can replace that functionality, then you're free to use that crystal to let this woman out of her cage. And then depending on who she is, she tells us how to get through this door.
So she says.
That seems like a reasonable path of attack. Are you hungry?
Sure.
He orders food for you and says, what? Let me ask you a personal question. Why did you join the chain? I mean, you could have killed Lady Rosevar, and I'm going to guess that based on what I know about the Chain of Acheron and its senior command, having met Judge and Slim and Boots, that at least one, if not most of them, lobbied to take the easy path and silencer forever. And you said no. Why does somebody like that join the chain?
How can King respond to this? Just hear them giggling out there.
If you don't want to talk about it, I understand.
No, I mean, what would he say to Scipio, though? I didn't have a home to go back to, and I met a senior officer of the chain who really showed me that, there's, even when you lose all of that, there's a place where you can find a new family and a home. And he eventually became the commander of the chain.
Why couldn't you go home? Actually, that's none of my business, I guess. Trade secrets and all that. Well, I stuck out my neck for the chain, and so far, you folks have done a lot for us. I sort of felt as though the situation with Lady Rosevar was somewhat out of character for the chain, but I feel like I learned a lot about you in the process. If you ever need a place to go, if things don't work out with the chain for whatever reason, let me know.
I'll keep that in mind.
So I'm going to go back and talk to my boss and see if there isn't something we can do, some resource we have that we don't need that'll help out your battle master. He wouldn't say that. He knows Slim. It would help out Slim. Because if we can get Slim to trade that crystal, then we can get that woman out of there. I'm not really interested in who she is. I don't think the Vile Silencer is either, but I'm interested in what she knows.
We feel the same way.
Well, that seems like I have an assignment. I'll let you know what I find out.
Yeah. I didn't tell him more about the cauldron, the blob stuff that we found in there, just so we can ask about it, because we...
Yeah, he wrote it down. He's never heard of it.
Well, I didn't say anything about what we found in it.
Okay.
With Odie, so
I tell that
to you.
You don't think that something like, this cauldron, it's locked up in there for a reason, right? That means it must have enormous power. Probably not the kind of thing the Sapphire Sky would use, but maybe the kind of thing the chain would use.
It really depends on what it is, but with what was protecting it, I can't imagine it's very good.
No, yeah, I see your point there, but speaking pragmatically, is that the path to stopping Ajax? Worrying about what's good? If I were going to give you some advice, I would say leave what's good to us.
I'll keep that in mind.
That's your call. I don't mean to tell you your business. How big is this cauldron? Is this something you can get out of there?
Fuck, it was really tall, right? I don't remember from
last week.
It's
like 12
feet tall or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really tall, and there's something at the bottom of it. I don't remember if there was a stairwell or anything, or a stairway up to it or something like that. I know Odie flew and went down, but we know it's just some kind of gelatinous thing, and it seems sketchy as fuck, and I don't want to fuck with it. So
I'll find out what it is.
All right. Well, let us know.
I will. And other than that, he's just going to want to hang out and finish the meal, and then he's going to take you back to the Dancing Minstrel.
Yeah, well, then just to make it clear to him, as of right now, we're at a standstill with how far we can go in here, if we didn't make that clear.
And he points to the room with Lady Violentia, and he says, but we have a clue.
Yep.
So we pull at that thread and see what happens. He says, I'm pretty confident, given the resources of the Vile Silencer and the Sky, that we can come up with something that will make Slim happy and give us the use of his crystal. But that's going to require research and maybe some negotiation. I'll let you know what happens.
All right, sounds good.
You can go get Tom if you want.
I assume we're done.
Yeah. I don't know his name. The guy with the boots.
Sorry for the delay, everybody. My tapestry had a hole in it.
Stand by. Let me go through let me find your page. So, yeah, you've received this invitation, the somewhat cryptic invitation to some kind of like after dinner nonsense at a place called the Bookbinders Club. Taking a carpet to if you ask anybody at the Dancing Minstrel, they'll be able to tell you that the Bookbinders Club is in a very posh district of the city called Castergate.
Castergate. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I make a roll to see if I if I, from my youth living in Capital, if I remember anything from.
About what? Remember anything about what?
Like if I've heard of the Bookbinders Club.
Sure, go ahead. Just a regular history check, and you were born here and you lived here, so you can get advantage on that.
Oh, okay. Well, take that. That's a 19.
Is your total?
What?
Is that what you rolled, or is that your total?
Yes.
Okay. Is your history bonus 0?
It is.
Oots, not a student history.
No,
of course not. The Bookbinders Club is, I wouldn't say it's famous. There are a lot of gentlemen's clubs throughout the city. It's a very kind of knobbish thing to do. A lot of noblemen have their own clubs, and the Bookbinders Club is just one of those. It's a place where rich noblemen go to hang out. It's not, I say a gentleman's club. It's not gender specific, but it's definitely like rich old Riojan blood.
All right. Okay.
And
I
you can
get that. Yeah.
You can list half a dozen of them off the top of your head, and you're aware that there are a lot more. It's a huge city. Capital's got over 2 million people living in it.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'll put on the fancy duds then, I suppose.
Oh, okay, good.
Good. Stop at the hotel first, and
I didn't want to prompt you. Excuse me. I didn't want to prompt you, but good. Stop and
get a little dressed
up. You're quite well because you have basically two outfits. You have the temp outfit, which is nice, that the tailor gave you, but you also have the actually quite expensive outfit that gives you like advantage on diplomacy checks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go to the nines. I'll like prestidigitate the hair up into something a little more elaborate.
Awesome.
And
you're thaumaturgically coiffed.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Decked out.
Okay. All right. Do you take a carpet or do you go by coach?
I think I will. How far is it from where I am?
I mean, it's actually not far. You guys are in the Dancing Minstrel is in a district that's close to the center of the city and actually on the same side as Castergate.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's only like, I think you might have to go through one other district to get there, including the neighborhoods within the district or the color-coded places on the map.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I mean, it's still a huge city. It might take like 90 minutes in a coach.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a coach.
All right. A coach costs you 1 gold. The carpets cost you 10. But the advantage is that you show up and you're still looked well coiffed. You don't look like you just arrived driving a convertible with your hair all screwed up.
None of the Debbie Harry nonsense.
Is there anything you want to, having arrived, the coach will deposit you outside on E Tercarolo, on the street that the Bookbinders Club is on. And you can see there's no, a lot of Capital signage uses the words. Most cities in Orden still just have a picture, but most places in Capital will actually say the name of the place. That's considered somewhat modern. But this place literally just it's like an old brownstone, very tall, multi-story building, very narrow, and it just literally has like an open book in front of it, and it has the numbers of the street that it is. But other than that, there's no.
All right. Well, this is the place. Is there anybody like standing outside? Is there obviously like anything going on inside? Is like lights
lit.
And party?
It's you can see that it's well lit inside. If you're arriving on time, then it's 8:00, and at this time and at this latitude, I think it's still very dimly light out.
Yeah.
But you can see this quite warm light coming through the frosted glass, and you can see people moving around, but you can't make anything out.
Okay.
There's
Well,
stairs leading up. There's a knocker on the door.
I'll go up and rap on the door.
As soon as you rap on the door opens, and there is a somewhat like straight out of Central Casting butler type figure, not literally a butler, a gentleman's gentleman, who opens the door, and he's dressed quite well, but he's obviously a servant, and he says, "Sir."
I will present my invitation.
He takes it and he goes, "This way, sir," and he leads you through this very ornate club. There are lots of noblemen in here. It's a long, narrow room, and there are smaller rooms going off to the sides. There's a dining room. There's chairs going up, stairs going up, and there's quite a lot of knickknacks from all over the world in here. The kind of the remnants of empire. And so there's like there's Higaran artifacts and all sorts of stuff. And there's a bunch of noblemen walking around and having after dinner tea and stuff and talking to each other. And you notice that they all seem like they're from different houses, right? If they're showing the symbol of their house, the raven of House Verona, for instance, they're all just sitting around talking to each other, and it's a very thick layer of smoke hangs over the whole place. Is one of the first things you notice when you walk in. And he leads you. The butler leads you. He's not a butler. The gentleman leads you to a small table. It's like a little tiny, coffee table that's in a nook away from everything else. And says, "Lord Latimer will be with you in a moment."
All right.
Would sir like anything to drink?
I'll take a coffee.
He retreats, and a few moments goes by, and you see this gentleman. He's very thin. He's not very tall. He's got white hair that he combs back. He seems to be Baslorian, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. He's dressed as a Riohan noble, and he's about to walk up to you and sit down, and someone stops him and says, "Lord Latimer," and he has a whole conversation with this person, and says, "Oh, I'll come talk to you afterwards. I have business to do." He goes, "Oh, I apologize. Most rude of me." And so this gentleman sits down across from you, and he has a pipe, and he's like, "Thank you for coming. I appreciate you responding to my invitation."
Well, it's Lord Latimer.
Yes, and you are Lieutenant Bertone of the Chain of Acheron.
I am. I'm curious how you came to. Well, I suppose someone of your status would be able to find out such things, but I'm curious as to why.
Well, I mean, we've been following the escapades of your organization since you came into the city. I must say, my compliments to your man, or perhaps I should say your half-man. He's quite good, but you should know that this may be a very large ocean, but we are the biggest fish.
All right. Yes. Well, he's Angel does have his talents, but we're in a new situation and sort of looking to expand our operations a bit. So,
well, please deliver to your man my compliments.
And we'll do.
We know you're working on something. We know it's big, and we want to help.
Yeah. Go on.
Well, we lack details in that department, but given the nature of your organization, we assume that it has something to do with Ajax. You don't seem overly concerned with the politics of the city or the well-being of its inhabitants, and frankly, I don't blame you. But if there's anything we can do, if there's anything my organization can do to help your organization, we would consider it a great opportunity to exchange favors.
Well, pardon me for
Smoke and the gentleman who let you into the building approaches and has a bunch of cigars and.
Yeah, sure. I'll take a cigar. I'll kind of I'll allow myself a bit of an indulgence in being back in sort of Riohan noble situation that I haven't really been able to experience this life since
Sure.
I left, right?
Yeah.
It's been a decade or so, right?
Yeah. Back when
So-
you were a young man.
Yeah. So I'll indulge myself this a little bit. Yeah.
Are you carrying a weapon right now? That's Matt asking, not this guy. He'd be able to see.
I think I would have left. I would have left Dancer. I don't think I would have brought that.
Right.
Just because that's a bit of a look, right?
Sure. Yeah. It's yeah. It's an evil looking weapon.
But I think I would have brought. I probably would have brought like a dagger or two,
Okay.
and the staff. Just for the sake of it, it's easy to conceal, right?
Is it concealed? When you say the staff, you mean the rod of Count Rodolph.
The rod of Count Rodolph von Glauer.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's on your person, but you don't have it. You're not displaying it or anything. Okay.
Right,
It's good
yeah.
to know. It's good to know.
I'm not like brandishing it about, stirring my coffee with it.
My organization has quite a lot of resources, especially here in the city, and we're eager to help if there's anything we can do.
Well, forgive me. I haven't done as much research into you as you have into me. What does your organization do? What is your organization?
How rude of me. And he takes a silver, card case out of his wallet and opens it up and pulls a linen card out and slides it across the table.
The Actian School. That is the...
Oh, we're the Prince's intelligence organization.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's pleased to make your acquaintance, Lord Latimer. This says, by the way, for the viewers, it says Lord Latimer, City Manager, Capital, the Actian School.
Yes, my bureau is rather well funded. Capital being something of a large playing field, and we like to keep abreast of things that are going on inside the city. Frankly, we consider it our responsibility to carry out the king's will here, and we're curious to know whether that overlaps at all with your goals.
Well, I have to imagine that there is some amount of overlap there, certainly.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah. What we're lacking at the moment is, I think, any real sort of unified military force within the city.
Yes, that would be a problem. As I understand it, you've got one light company of foot. You've got recently acquired one medium company of scouts, and of course, various and sundry auxiliary members. Not a huge force for a city as large as Capital, but we're not planning on taking over. So,
right. Well, and we're not politicians either. That seems to be, a bit of a detriment to our operation thus far. But I think in time. But if we could, I suppose our biggest worry is that when Ajax arrives with the intent to conquer Capital, as he has done in the rest of the world, that if the city's in the throes of a war amongst itself, then there's really going to be no one left to put up a fight against Ajax and a floating golden city and hawk lords and all that nonsense.
yeah, it's rather a tricky bottle to uncork that.
Yeah. But if Ajax were to, and I'm just musing here,
Of course.
if Ajax were to arrive in a city with leadership,
Yes.
a unified city with a unified army,
A prince, one might say.
yeah,
Yes.
then I think that the odds would be ever more in our favor in that case.
And did you have anyone in mind for this illustrious
Well,
role?
I take out a small silver card case and
Boots, Prince of Capital.
yep. I mean, I might make some joke about that,
Well, my organization takes something of a long view of things here in the city and across the world, and we've got our fingers in quite a lot of different pies. The issue of Ajax is both distant and one that we feel confident will resolve itself. We're more curious regarding what you're doing in Collinsgate.
Collinsgate, the
That's where the Dancing Minstrel is.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
where your butcher shop is. Yeah.
bit of excavation. Let's say.
Into the layers, as they
Yeah.
say. Tell me, revisiting this issue of Ajax coming to the city, curious to know if you could choose somebody in the city to put in the role of this unifying force that you were speaking of, who might you choose? Who would the chain back?
This is a difficult question. For one,
Well, we can speak off the record if that would help.
yeah, well, of course, we haven't had counsel with all of the lords of capital, as it were. All of the powers that be.
You met Lady Shirome, I believe.
We did meet Lady Shirome.
Yes, yes. And you had something of a little dust up on the pellet with 12 dragons. How did that go?
Well, I mean, I suppose it was a nice little refresher to the way that these political goings-on can play out.
Yes.
A bit of the classic backbiting and
Well, I imagine
infighting.
these must be somewhat rough seas for a mercenary company to have to sail. Things in capital are always more complex than they seem.
Yes, well, when you can just stab something and solve your problem, things are much more clear at that point.
Yes, I imagine they are.
Yes. But I don't know that we have enough information to go on to say that we could back a particular leader, nor do I think that we're entirely qualified to do so. Like,
Yeah.
why should we be the ones to I don't think at the end of the day that it makes any odds to us who sits on the throne of the prince.
Very pragmatic. I respect that. Well, I just wanted to make contact and introduce myself, and he takes out like a literal checkbook.
Okay.
And
As opposed to a
because he's about to use a phrase that is in this case not a metaphor.
Oh, I see.
He says, my business is all about gathering information, and I find it much easier to do that if we're friends and we're exchanging favors. So if there's ever anything you need, and he actually writes his name, writes your name on a check, signs it, and otherwise leaves it blank, and puts it across the table. And he says, consider this a blank check for you to use however you see fit. If there's ever anything you need, I'd like it if you came to us first.
All right. Well, Lord Latimer, this has been a very enlightening meeting.
Oh, thank you. I feel the same way. Bertone, what is the nature of the house that you're from?
Well, can we speak candidly?
Oh, of course, yes.
There's
like a lot of people around.
Yeah.
They don't appear to be listening.
Do you know of the current whereabouts of my father or my family? Or what?
No. I mean, I'm sure this is something that we could learn quite handily. I mean, tracking down errant nobles is a common profession here in the capital.
All right. Well, I've been away for some time. You see.
Yes.
Intrepid travelers, as mercenaries tend to be.
Yes, I had to get out of town somewhat abruptly, as we think.
Yes. There was some. It was a long time ago. If you could find out for me just what seems to have happened with my ancestral situation here, that information could be of some use.
Oh, I'm sure we could find something. What outcome are you hoping for?
Well, we've kind of been keeping an eye peeled for any sort of unclaimed strongholds within the city, any sort of lands, properties, that type of thing.
And difficult to come by those things without making enemies.
Yes, well, I mean, we're better at dealing with enemies than we are with real estate at the moment.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, well said. Well said. This is definitely something I could look into.
this is just a Tom question real quick. Is this guy member of the Privy Council.
Is this guy a member of the Privy Council? No. No, the Privy Council has the head of the great houses on it. So there's 7 members of the Privy Council. The head of House Verona, the head of House Alvaro, the head of House Navarre, the head of House Valletta, the head of the Broadsheet Guild, the head of the Rasp, and the head of the Fulcrum. That's it.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I don't know. For some reason, I had the idea that they were like a separate thing. Okay, sorry. Let's get back to this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Conversation.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to ask Lord Latimer who he would choose if he were to choose someone. If he could handpick someone to be the prince, who and why?
Tricky to say.
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, of course, if I had my way, I'd have the old prince back.
Yeah.
But if I were a betting man, I'd bet on House Alvaro.
Yeah?
Of course.
Why is that?
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, because I think we'll win.
Okay. We. Interesting use of the plural pronoun there.
Well, I mean, make an insight check. I don't know what the right thing would be. I wish I could have lit this if I wanted to. It's my office. I can do what I want.
Ooh, that's a 22.
So the Actian School, it's actually a school. Like people study there, but it's also where the prince's spy organization operates out of.
Mm-hmm.
And in the absence of the prince, the school is part of the university, and the university is run by House Alvaro.
Right.
So when there was a prince, these guys were probably loyal to the prince, and the goals of the prince and Prospero Alvaro were the same, but now the prince is gone. So now these guys, and this dude specifically, like if you look him up, he's a member of House Alvaro.
Right.
He belongs to House Oro, and they're a smaller subsect of House Alvaro.
All right. Cool. Would you say then, in your estimation, that the military force of House Alvaro is the strongest in capital among the houses and factions?
Well, I mean, we routinely run war games, and one of the scenarios that we cycle through is what happens if a civil war in capital breaks out, and very quickly you learn that the resources of a single house are not that great a matter in the grand scheme of things. It's more the alliance that forms.
Yes.
And when you match House Alvaro's quite a substantive military and also our financial resources and our intelligence directorate, and with something like House Verona's navy, well, now you've got a world beater, I think they call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
It all depends on how the game plays out.
Indeed. Well, let me think.
This digging operation that you're mounting in Collins Gate, am I safe in assuming that it involves your continued pursuit of Ajax's wizard?
In a way, yes.
Hmm?
This should provide a means to gaining us allies and perhaps even some tools to help us carry out this job.
Is there anything we can do to help?
I'm sure there is. Ooh, let me think. Collingsgate, the district that we're in, is a piece of, it's neutral territory.
Correct. It's the prince's territory.
Yeah.
And each of these little pockets of the prince's territory is like its own city within the city.
Mm-hmm.
They each have their own administration.
Right.
So it's not like there's one administration that runs all these little pockets. Nope, they each have their own kind of. So the Red Falcons are the kind of the city guard for the pellet, but the word of the city guard.
The word, that's right.
Yeah.
With the scrolls on the shields, right? Yeah. Again, Lord Latimer, you'll have to forgive my, I'm rusty in the
please,
area
you're among friends.
Politics and stuff.
Please, I entreat you to relax.
In the hypothetical situation that you were to have a military force move into an unclaimed territory within the city, what would the sort of ramifications of that?
Well, I mean, this is not an unknown hypothetical to a man in my position.
Well, and actually, the 12 dragons landed on the pellet when we were there, and that got a little prickly.
De Carano is notorious for taking matters into his own hands. Curious to see how that will play out. I don't think that story's over. Have you read the broadsheets today?
No, I have not.
I could have one brought. I would say that the answer to your question relies heavily on the nature of this military occupation. And furthermore, I would say that it had to do with who that military worked for, who their allies were. Say, for instance, that a foreign mercenary company of dubious provenance were to occupy territory that once held by the prince. We might be convinced to turn a blind eye to that unless we felt as though this organization was politically motivated and was already in the pocket of one of the factions in the city that we are not well disposed to. For instance, if we felt as though this was Lady Shirome making a play to take over the prince's territory, I'm afraid we'd have to take a somewhat dim view of that in the grand scheme of things. And I would expect to see some pushback there in terms of deploying other members of the city guard or some of perhaps House of Verona's Marines, depending on how they reacted to the scenario.
Understandably.
It becomes very complex very quickly.
Yeah.
But, this is our business at the end of the day. It depends. Do you think such a thing is likely?
I think it might come in handy.
Yeah, I can see how it would. I will say that if this organization was one we were already predisposed to owe a favor to, then I think that might well align with our own goals.
All right. Well, let me just say this. It is an apolitical third party for which we are doing this little digging operation.
That seems unlikely to me. If you had said that, if you had said you were working for a unicorn, I would take it more seriously. Apolitical third parties are oft described, but hard to come by.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned a unicorn. That's really not far off.
Interesting. I'm not particularly curious about if it's not a member of the city. If it's not Lady Shirome. I'm curious. Would you say then that this digging operation of yours is primarily a contract that the chain is trying to fulfill, or do you see it as pursuing your own goals here in the city? Are you working for yourself or someone else?
Essentially, this isn't the typical like money exchanges hands, ink and paper type of contract that we're used to. This is a bit more close to the chest, as it were.
A bit more personal, you might say.
Yes.
Yeah. Well. I think that under the right circumstances, if you were frank with us, then we might be persuaded to turn a blind eye to any operations in Collins Hill, and might even be persuaded to help. But we would expect something in return. For instance, just as a gesture of good faith, you understand, if we knew the name of the thing you're digging after, we might be able to help.
Understood.
Well,
I will say that when
something to think about.
Yes. If it comes to that, meaning no offense, it's just that this is a bit of a sensitive operation. If we come to need your help, and we may well, in fact, need your help, I can exchange. I'm more than willing to exchange information for said help. Put it that way.
It's very prudent of you. It was my hope that we could establish some sort of quid pro quo here, just among two gentlemen.
Yes.
But
I suppose. I mean, you've given me literally a blank check, so it seems only fair to extend the kindness or return the kindness of some information. Do you know of an organization called the Sapphire Sky?
No, sounds like a cult. No, not off the top of my head.
That's the name of our unicorn.
Well, easily looked up. Yeah, there are many such. Do I understand that this is something you're telling me in confidence?
Yes.
I see. Well, the Sapphire Sky. No, it does ring a bell. But I'll be sure to look them up. I suspect my organization is going to become very interested in them. These are people that I imagine, given the things I've read in the broadsheets and the research my people have done, that their goals must, almost by definition, align with the chains.
Well, loosely, you understand that a lot of the times the alignment of those goals happen only to the extent that some people can't sully their hands with the type of thing that we
I see,
can.
yes. Yes, politics makes strange bedfellows. Yes, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And this relationship with this organization, is it to your benefit currently?
It's mutually beneficial thus far. We've gone out of our way quite extensively in the past few days to sort of entrench ourselves in this operation.
Yeah.
So we're
Interesting choice of words.
We're taking it very seriously, despite it not being. This is pretty atypical of what we do.
Yes, I imagine so. I know that you came to Capital to recoup after the events of Black Bottom, and common wisdom, and I'm inclined to think that it's correct, is that the chain is going to devote itself to fulfilling the terms of the original contract, and maybe going, considering the personal nature of what happened in Black Bottom, maybe going above and beyond the strict letter of the contract. That wouldn't surprise us. And of course, we would be perfectly happy to see something catastrophic befall Ajax before he gets to Capital, but I predict that's quite a long ways off. In the meantime, I appreciate the information you've given us in confidence. Still quite a bit curious what you're digging for in Collinsville, but I'm sure that's something we can find out on our own. Anyway, hang on to that check, and I hope that your continued association with this Sapphire Sky is to your benefit, and if it ever proves, that they want more than you're willing to give, please don't hesitate to contact us.
All right, I'll be in touch.
He extends his hand.
Yeah.
He's like, pleasure meeting you, sir.
Yes, please.
Pleasure doing business with a gentleman.
Likewise.
I think that's it.
All right.
All right, we're gonna
Cool.
take a break and gather our forces, and then come back and play D&D.
Tight.
We are MCDM Productions, and we play Dungeons and Dragons. everybody. My name is Matthew Colville. These are my friends. We're a bunch of game developers. We hang out on Wednesday night and we play Dungeons and Dragons. If this is how we know your time is valuable, if this is how you choose to spend it, we thank you. I don't remember what happened last week, but yeah, you guys, it was the autophage. I should remember it. We just did the campaign diary for this, which of course you folks all watched. And you guys fought the autophage, found the Cauldron of Zeranin, and you both got messages saying to people, there were people who wanted to talk to you. You leave the dungeon. I think Leech said he wants to take a long rest. He wants to spend 4 hours.
If I can, yes. Love to have a...
I thought we all wanted to do like a long rest.
Well,
Yeah,
you-
I mean, it's evening, right? And we're back at the
that'd be
minstrel,
awesome.
so let's
Yeah.
just...
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot how beat up we
Autophage.
got. Yeah.
We were pretty beat
Yeah,
up
that
from
Yeah.
fucked us up.
Fucked me up pretty good.
Yeah, are we gonna go to the minstrel? And
Yeah.
spend the night there?
Yeah, we'll have
Quite
a
easy
night.
to do. Yeah.
Long rest, yeah.
Yeah.
Long rest of the button.
Yeah. Yeah. You folks are able to take a long rest. That's no problem. Spend the night at the Dancing Minstrel.
Button. Woohoo.
Take long rest.
His-
Confirm.
So that long rest happens after King goes to talk to Marcellus Scipio at the Cup of Blood, and Boots goes and talks to Lord Latimer at the Bookbinders Club. So you guys both come back, and it's probably like 10:30.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's sleep. And come morning, there's new broadsheets.
Oh yeah.
I before I long rested, I think I brought back OD.
There
I'm
was
gonna come back in and like find our table where the rest of the senior officers are hanging out and just like slap down the blank check and be like, boom,
Nice.
you guys want to buy this district?
This round's on me.
that they're not. You as players know what that check is, but your characters do not.
Where'd you get that money from?
Where'd you lift that off of?
A piece of paper.
You can write any number in
like-
there, sir.
Like $2?
That was left blank quite purposefully. I met Lord Latimer, city manager, the Actian school. So this guy is well connected with our pal Prospero.
This is a reference to something that happened to a friend of mine in real life, working at a video game company. A bunch of government guys wanted to come by and talk to us about the game we're working on.
Who are you and why are you at our table? Can't you see that we're a band of mercenaries?
Yeah, it's well done.
That's right. Keep him on task, Rock.
Anyway,
We'll never know the
Well
end of
said.
that story.
Nope.
well, I can tell you
Tell
folks.
us
I can tell you. They don't want to hear this. I'll tell you folks offline. Yes.
I didn't mean to totally.
Who are you?
I was like,
Who's
funny.
at your table?
So good.
Yeah.
How'd you get in here?
Anyway.
Who are you?
Yes.
I'm gonna grab it and look at it.
Are you grabbing the check or are you grabbing the card?
No, the check.
I mean, it looks like to Slim's point of view, it probably appears to be a very, very, very short contract. Like it just says and it's signed Lord Latimer de Oro, I think is how he signs it, and it says agrees to pay, and then it's nothing,
How much do
and
you,
then
how
it's
much
his
did you pay?
signature. It's his signature.
It's empty.
So you can write in any number you want.
That's the idea.
What sort of lascivious act did you have to do
Sir.
He seems to want. He seems to just want to what everybody else that we've met so far in this guy's kind of position wants, which is, he wants sway with us, right?
You're just the belle of the ball.
Yeah. We're probably going to end up being
Like to work for him, or what does he want from it?
the thing that catalyzes the war, that catalyzes a new person being made Prince of Capital.
Speaking of which, the morning's broadsheets headline says, 12 dragons refuse to quit city building. Red falcons surround them.
Oh,
Oh, the
right,
library.
the library.
So they're in the okay.
So they're still like fighting it out right now?
They're in the library. Right?
According to the article, the open hostilities haven't broken out, but that's what everyone's waiting for. And Lady Antonia, who you may remember was the head of Red Falcons, and you watched the other guy cut her down, and then King resurrect her.
Mm-hmm.
She's quoted in the article.
What
And
did
what's
she
the
say?
She's quoted as saying that 12 Dragons has no authority. The library is a critical element to the operation of the pellet, and they're not letting anyone in. And if the 12 Dragons won't negotiate, they will force their way in. And the reporter asks if Lady Antonia realizes that means many of the city guard will be killed, she says, "We have a clear duty and we intend to do it."
Damn.
She's gonna get herself killed again.
Yeah, he battered her, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Unless, I mean, we could probably help, and without even having to go down there. Lord Latimer did tell me that Commander Dickaroni basically sort of writes his own rules, but I think we might be able to get him to piss off.
Dick off, as it were, so.
Yeah.
There is a package waiting for King in the morning when you come down.
A package.
Who does Dickaroni work for?
Alvaro.
How's Alvaro?
Same one.
Oh,
as
the same guys you just met?
Uh huh. But writes his own rules. He's a bit rogue by the sounds of it.
Right.
That is in character with most of the knights you've ever met.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mavericks.
They work for someone, but
Is it once one? Depending on there are people in the city who are knights who that's just part of their job, right? But then there are hereditary nobleman knights, and they tend to each of them, regardless of what house they work for,
March to the beat of their own
they
drum.
tend to think that they're God's gift to whatever, and that they can do whatever they want, and so
I see.
Brought up with a sense of entitlement.
Can I see that? Speaking as Lars. No. One more. Almost there.
Rod.
you knew what you wanted. The package is wrapped like it looks like it could be a cut of meat. It looks like it's wrapped in butcher's paper. It's tied with twine, and it's addressed to King, and it says from Marcellus.
It's a bomb.
It's
It's a bomb.
It's at the burn.
Dickaroni.
Oh, you want to use the rod to influence him?
Lars does.
Well, we can't read Lars's mind.
That's what.
Well, I want to see what this is.
This is Matt wishes that he brought his scissors in here.
No,
It's
you're
a
doing fine.
Sharp thing.
I don't know if you know enough about the rod yet to just use it to.
What good? I mean, why would we do that? Other than, I mean, I think. Well, no, we don't. We don't owe the Red Falcons anything.
They are us.
Yeah.
I mean,
we earned our
Technically,
knighthoods.
we're kind
Yeah.
of like part of the.
Colville.
He's ready to cut it off.
Too late.
Thank you.
What did you roll on your crystal? Do we have it fully charged?
You got
Yes.
Is that what it was?
I rolled a
So, if we use the crystal to get her out, we can get you this.
No, they're in the package.
Oh, here
We
we
have
go.
that. The
look.
trade.
They are.
This is a gift to get us to use the crystal to free the
They're
woman.
bracers,
Whoa.
and
Yeah, that's good.
they're not as good as Amplify. Amplify is 3d8. The bracers are only 3d6.
Mhm.
However, that 3d6 is the bonus that Gith get when they're using their silver sword on the native plane. Like,
Right.
if you look at the monster manual stats, Gith do 2d6 from the greatsword plus 3d6 psionic damage.
Slim would know what these are.
Yeah, and I mean, you recognize immediately. To the rest of the group, they look like. I mean, Slim, even before he recognizes their provenance, he would recognize that they are Gith made because they are silver bracers that have this crazy alien design on them.
Mhm.
And you folks have been all over the multiverse, and there's all sorts of crazy shit out there. But he's like, nope, that's a Gith manufacturer. And then if you hold them, you're like, oh,
Feels like
these are
home.
the silver bands of.
Blacketh.
Yeah.
So we can keep those if we use the psionic crystal to try to take down the barrier. So
Well, like I said, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, you gave me the crystal to use. If you're willing to make that trade, these are very valuable.
it seems like a pretty good trade to me. Speaking mechanically as me, Lars,
What does King think? I think he was. I think he was.
I think you
speaking
think the
as
same thing. You
Slim.
don't have to activate it.
Oh, you could just use it.
You just have them on.
Oh,
That's
is it only
way
usable
better.
in his
Ooh.
plane, or
Which
is
is
it?
probably
No,
good.
it's-
because
That's-
you could get disarmed.
He doesn't
with
have to burn a turn anymore,
Oh,
That's pretty tight.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
and he can also punch people and still do that.
He's
Really?
giving up. He's giving up like, on average, 3 points of damage.
But the
which
thing is,
almost nothing.
the silent crystal does other things too.
Spells and stuff.
It does. It does a lot.
It
But
does,
we
but
never
Are they
use
useful?
any of that.
But I only use it for amplify.
Yeah. If we had an int-based character, it would be a lot more useful, I think. But
Oh, there
What
you
do you
go.
get? Is that the
Wise decisions.
crystal?
Well, the thing is, I think Slim actually will need to use it in order to break through the thing because he's the one with silent powers who can use it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
anybody can use a crystal.
Oh, okay.
The crystal gives you, like Slim natively has some psionic abilities. Even without the crystal, there's some things he can do. But anybody can use the crystal. And the crystal actually gives you psionic charges, which only Dragonborn have.
Oh.
Or only Gemstone
Dragonborn.
Only Gemstone Dragons have, and Gemstone Dragonborn are descended from them.
I was just thinking it might make more sense for Slim to use it because he already has psionic abilities too.
You might.
So yeah, Slim gives King the gem and snatches up the armbands and goes like back into a dark corner and is like looking at them. And
I mean, they are legendary.
Wow.
They're not unique. They are the
Right.
bands that like any of the ladies' knights would have, and they represent belonging to an elite order of Gith warriors. Presumably, the Sapphire Sky killed one of them and harvested these
They don't
graces.
seem to want to fucking kill people or do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, they love killing people as long as they're evil.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I see.
do you have a way to message that guy?
I mean, I've got his card, so I'm sure that we could get in contact with him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we want to burn our blank check on
Nervous.
the
Yeah.
pellet, but if you're suggesting banding with House Alvaro,
Those guys, like De Caron works for House Alvaro. We could just call this dude and be like, "Hey, you need to, like what
to what end?
what
though?
can we do for you to get them to, let go of the library?"
But to what end? What does that?
In fact,
what does that get us?
since he likes us, or likes me at least,
He loves you.
We could take over the library.
It's just a place of,
As a stronghold.
yeah, like a.
Maybe
power-
I don't know.
power-
Like,
Yeah, but
like,
people go to the library. Like house. We don't want
pellet.
people walking through our stronghold, do we?
I mean,
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know, like-
I'm more inclined to be near and above Ringwell until we've solved. I mean, it's a long solve, but
yeah.
Yeah, they're quite a
Like
distance
we-
apart, right?
Mhm.
Library.
The
We have
library
a
is
month.
the library is a civic building,
Right.
and it is on a hill, and it is one of the dots on the city map, one of the power centers of the map, for a couple of reasons, not the least of which is it's a symbol of the authority of the people that run the city, both like in terms of the culture of the city, but also just the sheer amount of documentation that's in it. Like people's marriages are certified because of the documents in there. People's land titles are certified because of the documents at the library. And
Houses too, like that one guy.
yeah, the existence,
Yeah.
the existence of many houses. The library is not the only building in the city this is true of. There's over 2 million people in the city, but it's one of the 18 power centers on the map, and it is as far as like a war goes, it's a very defensible stronghold. It's a giant
It's like a
marble.
cliff on one
It's
side.
a giant marble building on a hill. People
Well, it
use it
sounds
as a
like-
civic building right now, but if somebody
sounds like
Sorry.
it also cuts off Shiromi's ability to establish fake houses because they can't go get paperwork from there.
they
But
could
it
probably
cuts off our ability to make our own fake houses as well. And we
the
didn't get
access
fake
to the
houses.
library is not the only way to forge. There
We
are
got a
lots
real
of
house out there as well.
But I mean, like this guy he's not the prince. He can't just give us prince's territory. All he can do is turn a blind eye if we try to take it. The Red Falcons are going to have something to say about that, I would imagine. Shirome's people, I mean, everybody else in the city is going to have something to say about that, right?
The Red
The-
Falcons are like our allies, though.
But if we try to take over their part of the city, like, are they going to just be like, oh, okay, cool?
I mean, I think as long as we don't, fuck with them. Like we saved them from these guys.
But
like
to be clear with this thing, this is a blank check for anywhere in
Yeah.
the city. You're saying.
it's
So
literally just
why-
a blank check.
So why would we not want to be above Ringwell?
I don't know. No reason.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the Red Falcons, but
Because it's a magnet of fucking trouble.
Well,
That
I
could be
mean, we're a magnet of fucking trouble.
Yeah.
Your mom's
So,
a magnet of fucking
like,
trouble.
we're going to continually pull in trouble for the rest of the campaign. That's kind of the point of the game, right?
Did Boots and,
Oh, is it? Oh,
did
I thought we were
Boots
setting up
and
a
King
book.
Look at you,
fill
Meta.
everybody else in on like what y'all talked about with
Not yet.
Not yet.
individuals?
It's
Oh, I was gonna say I would have pretty much. Yeah,
I
like,
just,
like slapping the check on the table.
yeah.
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 As
That's true.
like
That's
a
true. That's true.
conversation
Yeah,
starter.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
that's you
yeah.
telling the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
So what we watched, we know about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you just.
Okay. So you tell them what happened. You don't leave anything out.
How was your?
So now,
And
we,
Commander?
so now we know that you told the spy organization about the Sapphire Sky.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like that'd be a good thing for the lieutenant to inform the rest of the senior command about if like that kind of information is revealed to somebody outside the organization.
They're in another dimension, right? Like how
Yeah, I mean,
he
you're not
thought I
wrong.
was talking about unicorns, and he's kind of right, you know. So let him try and find a pocket dimension inside of a ring.
So what did Mr. Blank Check want for that?
Mr.
Like,
Blank
did he
Check.
like what did you give him for that? Or
I told him that if we were gonna write this check,
Uh-huh.
that we'd be in touch to sort of make an exchange
okay,
for what we
Something.
were using it for.
either information or something.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely interested in you know what we're doing here in Calling Skate. So
Okay.
yeah.
How
you
was
just-
how was your engagement, sir?
Yeah,
Mr.
it's fine.
Marcellus,
It was fine.
what did y'all talk about?
About the problems of Ringwell, about a way to get that woman out of there, about how we're going to get by that gold door.
What happened to Rosavar?
What's that?
She's still our problem in the future.
Okay, in the future. In the future,
sir?
like tomorrow.
Ah, well, we could
Yeah.
be we're probably
Let's,
dead by then.
let's go to the candle shop. We shouldn't talk about this out here. This is how people are going to find us.
A dwarf and a halfling walk in.
Sounds like a beginning of a joke.
The angel?
Yeah. No, it's you recognize your characters probably recognize one or both of them. It's Zeorge, who is the dwarf
Oh, was that?
captain of the Word. They're the prince's troops here in Collinsgate. They're
when we-
basically the cops.
The sun elf when we were chasing
Yes.
that, right?
Oh, that's
Correct.
right.
And his halfling lieutenant
Yeah.
is who's carrying a notebook and a pencil following this guy around is named Winchester Spendthrift.
That's it.
And Zeorge looks around. This dwarf is very stout. He's got a shield on his back, which you've seen before. You've seen him carrying it, and it has the device of the Word on it. He's got an axe on each hip. And apart from the fact that he's wearing the prince's livery, he's very kind of stereotypical dwarf-looking character. He has a long beard, and he looks around. His eyes adjust for a second. He sees the table that you're all sitting at. He points, and he walks over, and the halfling is kind of going, following behind him. And he looks at all of you, and he says, "The Chain of Acheron, lately decamped from the stays and now taking up housing here in my district. How lucky for us." He turns to Spendthrift. Killed that dragon, though.
Indeed, how lucky for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that dragon?
Yeah, you did kill that dragon.
Yeah.
Did they have to do that? And Spendthrift says, "Sir, no, they did not. No, they did not. And stopped that fungus thing that was eating everybody and stayed to help clean up. What do you make of that?" And the
You're welcome.
halfling says,
I seem mad or is he enthusiastic?
very, very, very civic-minded of them, sir. Very civic-minded indeed. But your men, 5 of your men, get drunk, get in a fight with some of the boys from House Alvaro. I lock them up and give them a slap on the wrist and let them go. As a favor to you. Between the prince's men. And he fingers the medallion that you're wearing that Lady Antonia gave you.
Mhm.
And then he looks at the symbol of the chain and he says, "But whose men are you really?"
What does that even mean? We're our own men.
Is that what you say to him?
Yeah.
Just in that same tone.
Yeah.
Well, it means you wear the prince's seal, fool! You walk around in my city wearing the prince's seal, and you say you're your own men.
Oh, I see where he's getting at. We've already told him that we're doing stuff for the prince right now. We're acting in the interest of the city.
Ah,
We told him that with
Really?
the dragon. That's why we helped fight the dragon. That's why we didn't just take off when a dragon started torching.
Yeah.
With
The
no
Prince's District.
compensation.
Trying to help the city.
Yeah.
yeah. That's very nice of you.
We helped Lady Antonia when she was slain by Dickaroony.
Yeah.
Brought her back to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and she.
Now she's in trouble again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, yeah.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Remember
Yeah,
that shit we did? That good shit we did?
Let's just
Let's get him.
You know how to fight?
Yeah, right. Let's kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, Lady Antonia, she's a good judge of character. And she seems as though she compensated you well for your service to her, he says, looking at your prince's seal. He says, but now you're here in my district. Why not go back to the pellet? You like Lady Antonia so much.
Why don't you marry her?
There's a really nice butcher shop here, though.
Huh?
Yeah. Real good food.
How long are you planning on staying here?
As long as people keep buying sausages. Why did you
Then
just
why
say
did you
that?
bring it up?
I said that there's really good sausages.
Oh, I thought you implied that.
Well,
No,
I
okay.
retract what I said. I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Lars said. Judge didn't say that.
You carry the prince's seal. That means you must do the prince's business. If you're going to stay here in my district, we need to come to some agreement.
What would you say
Where-
it is exactly that you want?
What do you do here?
We enforce the law. We're the only thing keeping the city together. And if you're going to wear those medallions, then you have to do the same.
Well, hasn't taking out a dragon and cleaning up some mold a pretty good.
Oh, very heroic. Yes.
Yeah.
But what have you done since then? It's dirty work policing the city.
Stuff.
It's not all dragons and viruses. He wouldn't say viruses. He would say funguses. It's not all dragons and funguses. It's dirty work pounding the pavement. Thief takers. That's what we are.
I believe the term, pardon the interruption, is fungi.
The mold. It was very nice of you to stay and clean up. Are you planning on continuing your stay and helping clean up? Doing what it takes to enforce the law?
Sure, we can spare some men for that.
He kind of stops and
We've been
happily.
keeping this area clean, right? Where we've been staying.
Huh?
In fact, we improved the area.
Have you noticed any crime in this area, actually, since we've been around?
Your own men getting drunk, getting in fights, disturbing the peace.
I'm sure the other ones
When was this?
instigated.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Which men?
I
Who
don't
did
know.
Keep in mind,
Yeah.
you said it was Alvaro's men, right? Kind of like
did.
how Alvaro's men instigated a fight on the pellet. And you're really going to come blame us?
Mm-hmm.
They cut down the
He
prince-
names a bunch
Did
of
we
the.
know about this fight?
No.
Oh, okay. So this is the first we've heard of it.
Yeah.
So it's just, he just names members of the.
Yeah, he names the five
Well, it sounds
non-officer members of the chain.
like those men will be disciplined.
Yeah. We shall deal with this
Yeah.
internally.
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
Written citation.
They'll be
We
flogged,
appreciate you letting him out.
barbecued,
Yeah.
drawn and quartered.
And Eden.
No, what?
Sorry.
By the ship, certainly.
We appreciate the favor and we'll reprimand them accordingly.
Ah, yeah, I did a favor for you, but now you have to do the dirty work of being the prince's men or get out of my district.
So that favor to us wasn't you paying us back for us destroying this dragon in the mold. This is now a new favor.
Favors!
Yes.
You carry the prince's seal.
So
Is that an ornament?
what exactly are you looking for here?
He wants us to do the dirty work of our city
What?
police.
And not pay us.
Name some dirty work
It was murder.
and we'll look into getting it done.
Wants us to wave our
What do you
truncheons about.
need? What do you need done around
Early.
here? Seems pretty clean. Seems like it's been pretty clean since we took care of that dragon and that mold.
He starts listing like things that have happened in the city since then.
Serial killers.
Like it's everything you would expect. He's a cop. He's the head of the police here in this part of the city, and that's what he and his men do. Is they
Cats and trees.
sure whatever it takes.
All right.
And-
Well,
Is the list long?
I mean, he like Winchester Spendthrift can make it long.
Mhm.
He'll be like, Winchester. No, he doesn't. He goes, Spendthrift. And he's like, oh, well. And he just starts listing all the stuff they've been doing, all the break-ins, theft, murder.
Well, why don't we give them the 5 as a bit of a punishment to them? They can be
community service.
Community service. Yeah.
we can definitely do
Let's
that.
do that.
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
might
yeah.
sharpen it.
That'll
He's
teach
getting
them.
on my nerves. This is Matt talking, not this character's getting on my nerves. So let's do that. Give him the 5. Community service as their punishment. They'll clean up.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
While we're here, those guys who serve the peace will work with you as community service
Not a bad start.
as their punishment.
Or for a week or something. No.
While we're here.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, good idea.
Says there's one, how many of the seal? You have 6 of the seals, right?
Yeah, we've all got seals. Yeah.
He says, seems a fair deal. You second 6 of your men to me, and 6.
You arrested 5.
Ah, yes.
You want a 6th?
Well, I'd like your whole company,
Would you like an imp?
but I'll take 6 men, 6 of your men.
While we're in town, while we're staying here.
While you're in my district.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, seems a fair exchange.
All right, we'll have to get some poor other bugger then.
Think of it this way: you're doing the
Butts.
city a favor.
Yeah, butts could go there.
That doesn't suit it for manual labor. We could send a flea though.
At this point, the doors open and things change. Any of you, like you're not a paladin, you're a cleric. A dark and evil presence enters the dancing minstrel.
Ooh,
Tower all the while. Let's go.
Yes.
does it look like a vampire?
Asmodeus, let's stay.
Is it Boots?
He's been out and suddenly comes back. Want to suck your blood.
Her boots leave burned, smoldering marks on the wood floor of the dancing minstrel as she walks in and approaches Zeorge. She's wearing black armor and she has a black cloak on and is dressed like a chivalric knight, not like a knight of the city with a rapier and fine clothes, but like a medieval kind of King Arthur knight, and is obviously dead. Her face shows eons of decay, and there's black smoke kind of slowly emanating off of her shoulders. And she walks up to Zeorge, who's talking to you folks. And I don't know what the Riohan equivalent of Black Gods is, but whatever it is, Zeorge says it. And Winchester Spendthrift takes a step back, and people in the inn start filing out. And the owner of the inn, who is behind the counter, is like more of this nonsense, whatever it is. And this Death Knight says to Zeorge in a hollow voice, it sounds like it's coming a great distance, echoing through a mausoleum, says, there is an item here in the city, in your district.
Uh-oh.
My lady demands it. And Zeorge turns to the halfling and says, do you have any idea what she's talking about? And she says, a rod. This long. Black and gold. With a stylized hawk atop it. Find this thing. Deliver it to me. And live. You have one day. And Zeorge looks at you and then turns back to the Death Knight and says, "You don't come into my city like you're the prince himself. Who are you and who is your master?"
Dear.
I kind of like this guy.
Yeah, tell her.
Come on, dude.
No, don't tell her off. Who is
let
she? She can't
Yeah, let's
come
see
here
what happens.
demanding
I'll back him
things.
up.
I didn't vote for you.
I'll take a step back towards Colville.
Yeah. Just gonna.
She turns and she stops and points to Zeorge and says, "You have one day, or I will burn out your brain." And then she starts to dissolve into a cloud of smoke
Whoa.
and evaporates.
Fucking hell.
You let filth like that in your district? No wonder we have problems.
Well, if only we had someone of your stature helping. What did you do? Stood
Kill
there
the
like 1 o'clock
dragon.
half struck. Yes, very well done. Very well
We're going to
done.
rely very heavily on that
Yeah,
trial.
right. Fucking-
Well, I didn't see Shorty here out there helping.
Seriously.
Right.
Letting a fucking sun elf run through your district. You got lots of problems here, and it doesn't have anything to do with us.
Yeah, with nothing to do with
Absolutely
it at all.
nothing.
I think it's got quite a lot to do with you.
Think
I don't know.
do not.
Who was that?
I don't know.
We do
She
not
wasn't
know.
talking to us,
She was
man.
talking
Talk
to
to
you.
you.
Yeah, she didn't provide any details, no way to follow up. How are you even supposed to get her the thing that she's asking for?
Yeah, it sounds like you better get busy looking for a rod about
Yeah.
this long.
Yeah, it's time to skip
What do
town.
you say? Black, green, and blue with a
A
stylized
snake? A
chicken on
snake
the
or
top of it.
Snake, yes, a snake.
I think so. It was a
that's
cobra?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Chop
Your-
Got a
chop.
rod about that.
Your life is. Your life is.
Your mom has a
ticking
rod.
down.
Sorry, couldn't help myself.
You are seconds closer to death already.
Spendthrift, let's get out of here.
Well, okay.
He gives you he tells you where the police station is. And he says, "Have your men report in the morning."
You'll be dead by then.
Yeah, let's what time is it?
Shh, wait.
It's morning.
Yeah, they'll report 2 hours after that. We gotta get him over from the stays and all that. Get him resituated.
He
So
doesn't, he doesn't care. He's got more stuff to deal with.
Aren't
Yeah.
they here?
Well, I mean, just in case, he's
Aren't they
dead.
here?
They are here because they got
Because they-
arrested here.
You, me too, last.
You lying? Are you lying to the good officer?
I'm not lying. I'm saying, they'll report
The right
2
honorable
hours
gentleman.
after right now. The fucking Death Knight came in and said he has 24 hours.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if he's not there when they get there, we don't want them to be there while the fucking Death Knight comes up and they get murked.
That's a fair point. The old
That's-
Death Knight.
I know
Yeah.
that these two are like Copper and Burger Crossing.
So, anyways,
Indeed, sir.
Zeorge is going to take off.
yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Every damn
Yeah,
day.
get out. Did his mate go as well?
Yeah.
Spendthrift. Or...
Yeah.
So while they're looking for this fictional rod, perhaps we should go and use the crystal.
Yeah. Let's go to the candle shop.
Yeah. Okay. It's the morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Well,
We don't want to talk at all
Are we not
about
even
the
gonna-
fact
yeah,
that
we're not
the
even
fact that
sitting
it's like on fire smoking.
Yeah,
I know
it
this
sounds
lady
like-
just came in looking for something that Boot quite obviously has. That we
You know
all
what kind of
about.
problem this sounds like?
Kind of-
it sounds
Not
like
our problem.
Yeah.
Well, no,
sounds
is,
like
is this place empty?
The thing is, though,
no.
Is it just us in there?
It sounds
We
like a
should not-
problem we talk about in the candle
Yeah.
shop.
Oh.
We
Let's
should
go to the
not
candle
talk
shop.
about a
Got
rod
it.
here.
well,
Yeah,
we should go
like,
to the
what do
God
you-
blind if we're gonna go anywhere because we can't scry in there or anything.
Go for it.
And we normally take a break now. And I've been now running the game for 90 minutes, even though all these people haven't all been together. So I now would like to go get something to eat and take a bio break. So we will return. We will return in about 13 minutes.
Only just started.
Well, I'm glad that's how you feel, because that means you'll be looking forward to us continuing in about 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Start break.
Let's try.
We are back. We're back. Hey, everybody. If you have stuck around this long, then you are a true fan, and we appreciate it. This is the point after the break where we want to show off some of the fan art, if indeed there is any. It's always possible that we can have a week without any fan art. Is there fan art? Lars is the keeper of the fan art.
Not.
And if you want him to feature your art on the stream, just mail it to his home address,
Which is?
It's time to stop. Chain fan art on Twitter. Please.
which
Please
I
use the
actually,
hashtag.
I actually don't know what it is. I
Please
couldn't
use
have
it.
told you if I wanted to.
It's
So
all
let
that
us,
clock.
let us, yeah, there is a hashtag, chain fan art.
Fan art.
Yeah.
Hashtag the chain fan art, please.
The chain. Don't do
Please
what I
allow.
don't fuck it up and just write chain fan art because he'll never see it. You have to type the chain fan art, and then Lars
I
will
think
see
also if you just mention at Hello MCDM on Twitter, like
Please use the chain fan art. There's so many things called the
That's so
chain. There's
specific.
songs and books and TV shows. Just
The chain
mention
fan
us.
the chain fan art.
it. Oh, hey, look!
Whoa, cool.
It's the orc. It's the orc leader of the.
Come on.
What did you do over there?
Nothing.
Did you-
Everything's under
He's
control.
fucking lost it.
Damn, look at those teeth.
Yeah.
Dude, the needle tests are awesome.
I don't want to
Is
get
that
bit
how
by
you
that guy.
imagine? No.
Dang, I'm tasty. I love that. I also
Both
like.
of these are so good.
Yeah, I really
Nails.
like the nails one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the callback.
Why do humans have so many gods? I wonder if Ajax knows.
Just looks so cute.
This is fucking cool.
Whoa.
Ooh.
I haven't seen this.
Oh, that's Leech. Oh, it's
There he is, down the
the.
bottom there.
Mhm.
Is that your patron?
Yeah. What
Well,
have
that
I,
was what they
That's the Moon Elf,
manifested
I think.
into.
what have I done?
Oh no, that's what
No,
the
that's when the-
that's what you summoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
found, yeah.
Oh, Judge! Dude, look at those horns. Those are fucking cool.
Nice.
Twisty.
Voodoo horn.
I like how his sword is twisted, his horn's
Mm.
twisted,
Yeah. Twisty boy.
his mind is twisted.
No. Very focused and clear.
Oh.
Aww.
Chief Mouser.
So good.
All about the bow tie.
Yeah.
That's super
I should get
cute.
Vince a bow tie. People like cats in bow ties.
You should.
One of those
They
little
have
office.
little collars and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you just clip them on.
Yeah. Look at that.
Whoa. Non Scar.
Yeah, I like the.
L. John
There's a
Scar.
line art version, I think,
I like-
of this one too.
Oh my
from
gosh,
last
that's
week. That was
so
really
good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I like the background out
like
of
that
focus
bit.
and everything.
Yeah,
Looks like he's back in a
That depth of field.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does. Oh, this is on the left. We have King and his waifu
Entourage.
his god, his actual god in the background, and the Lady of Brass intercepting his message. I think is what. That is. And then we have,
yeah.
and then there was Slim.
For
on
just
the
a
right.
moment.
Yeah.
It was, yes.
Do we have any? Obviously, we want to thank the mods who work tirelessly in order to keep. Having a great community doesn't just happen all by itself. It takes a lot of people working really hard, and our mods are at the forefront of that effort, making it so that Twitch chat is reasonable and fun, and the community is dope. And also, often, Carrie P keeps a running tab of what has happened so far, so that if you joined late, like just now, for instance, hi, welcome to the show. My name is Matt Colville. You can just type, I think, like exclamation. There's a command. I don't know what it is. Exclamation point recap. Probably, if I were going to guess, that would be what it is, and that'll link you to a Google Doc that has a running kind of what you missed thing. And also remember that if you have Amazon Prime, then you get a free Twitch Prime subscription that you get to send to your favorite streamer every month. Could be anybody. Who knows? Who knows who that favorite streamer is?
Could be me. I stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lars is Minecraft.
Could be a-
Always.
Could be
Got mine now.
it could be a Minecraft stream. I guess that's what we do now. I think that's it. Now we can go back to playing. Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, we do have a Kickstarter coming up pretty soon. You can kind of tell because I've stopped sharing art because after the first couple pieces of art came in for the Kickstarter, I'm like, I'm going to hang on to these and save them so there are some surprises. And the next Kickstarter, I think, is going to feature quite a lot of art. So if you want an alert when the Kickstarter goes live, there's a link. You can give us your email, and we will send you one email only. We're not going to spam you. We're not going to sell your email address. That's ridiculous. And that way you will know when the Kickstarter goes live. Anyway, when last we left, it feels like that intro was like me talking for half an hour.
Yeah.
Felt like it.
I know. It felt like the yeah. Imagine having to actually do it. It's much harder. Anyway, you folks just watched some evil night person come and threaten a cop you don't like.
No, I don't.
I like him.
I do. I don't. He
I
gets
kinda
on
like
my.
him.
He's fun.
Yeah.
He's fun.
Well,
annoying.
Slim likes
He's
him.
just doing his job.
I think O'Driscoll doesn't.
Yeah,
like
in an
him.
annoying way.
Leach probably wouldn't care.
He's a dwarf. Like if you've known dwarves, he's like all dwarfs except more so.
Bloody
Try
hell.
not to.
All that attitude is 100% normal everyday dwarf.
All the yelling.
No, dwarf.
Yep, they're in my campaign. Dwarves are short Klingons.
I don't get the reference. Anyway.
You're having a laugh.
Well, I know what that is, but anyway.
Anyway,
Sorry, carry on.
what were we doing?
We
Raise the cake.
leave it
Candle
dancing
shop.
minstrel.
You should have seen after the break. Everyone was just like, I was the only person in there eating munchies. Everyone else is just Waiting for D&D to happen again.
Yeah.
It's somewhat unusual. Yes.
We were at the candle shop, right? Well,
You-
that's
you
where
let-
we're
you're
going.
gonna go.
We're going.
You're gonna head out. Slim now has Slim given King the psionic crystal, the medium psionic
Yeah, we
crystal,
traded.
and now Slim has the silver bracers of Valkith,
Mm.
and
Valkith. Valkith.
Vlakith.
now Kith, and you're headed toward the abandoned candle shop that you folks own now.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. Then we can talk a little more freely about.
Yes.
What we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Well, there's an entrance to the candle
Rod.
shop in an alleyway, and makes it very easy to go in and out without anybody noticing. And the candle shop is all boarded up. So you guys have spent the night in here before, and it does have a passageway that leads to Ringwell.
All right.
Oh.
Oh,
Whoa, what?
No.
so now that King has you in private,
Oh.
Yeah.
He's going to give us a speech.
Rallying
I
cry.
cast silence on.
Is it your resignation?
I counterspell you
Uh,
with the rod that I took from you while you were sleeping.
Oh my god.
I am Von Glauer now.
A twist.
Von
Yeah.
Klinkerhoffen.
I made the call on Lady Rosevar. I wasn't okay with the idea of just killing her. She hadn't done anything wrong. I mean, I didn't like her, but that's not. I have a hard time seeing the rod of Count whatever as just a tool. I think it's dangerous. It's dangerous to us. That disease, whatever it is dangerous to everybody, innocent people. And it should be destroyed. Maybe we need things like that to fight Ajax. Probably we do. But if it's up to me, that's not how we do things. That's not how we win. So maybe it shouldn't be up to me. The chain needs to be able to do what's necessary. Forget what I think. And I'm not the commander. I guess I'm not by any means necessary. So according to the bylaws of the company, I'm calling for a vote of no confidence. According to the Chronicle, it requires a majority of the senior officers to vote no confidence, and the commander doesn't get a vote. That leaves 4 senior officers, which is not enough for a quorum, so Leech, you're promoted to senior. Welcome to the command structure of the chain.
Whoa.
Now
Oh,
What?
what?
A twist.
Plot twist.
So what happens if a vote
Thank
of no
you, sir.
confidence passes? Who becomes
Then we
commander?
You voted
for a new commander.
then you have another vote for a new commander.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
How do- how do-
What becomes
Angel's
the
in
king?
here, and Angel's like, I think I better go.
If you would, Angel.
Oh my god. You're getting awful comfortable.
Please leave.
He goes to, he opens the door, he stops, and he goes. then he walks the door, closes the door.
Oh, he's just gonna become a monster now.
Oh dear.
Gotta find a new punching bag. So what becomes of King then in the case of that this vote of no
It
confidence?
just goes back to being the chronicler, right?
But only if we vote no, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, he.
He doesn't
The
believe his-
character
To be
king
clear,
is
that's
saying,
not at all what I said.
I think it's what he
Yeah.
I
said.
said what I said was
He's incapable.
no. I said I'm giving you guys a choice.
Uh,
I did something like let Lady Rosevar go instead of killing her.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't think that's what Sweet would have done. It's not what Red would have done.
Mhm.
Some people might feel differently. We're having to deal with a lot of problems here, and as king, I'm going to make choices along with my beliefs.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And if you don't like my beliefs, now is your time to
Just
speak
like-
up. But I'm not going to straight murder a knight. I'm not going to leave that woman in the psionic barrier. You know, we've already figured out a workaround for that.
Yeah.
But for example, that plague, it's if you vote to keep me, I'm destroying that thing. It's not staying. Most likely that staff, we got to do something because it's now even worse with that fucking Death Knight lady coming to take it.
What's even worse?
The staff situation.
I mean,
She didn't directly talk to us. She didn't really, from my view of how Matt did it, this is Lars talking now.
Oh.
I believe she was talking to us, not necessarily the dwarf that was there.
She didn't say. You had it on you, right?
she
She was stood
she
next to
named
it.
him.
Yeah.
She said, "You have you
Did she say Zorg?
Zorg.
Yeah,
she did.
have
Yeah,
a
she
day
did.
I thought she just said you.
before I
No,
come back
she
and
named
burn
it.
out your brain."
Yeah.
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 She definitely said, "Burn out your brain part."
Yeah.
That,
It's
that
not
I
going to
remember.
be too far of a stretch to figure out, oh, the Chain of Acheron is here. Oh, hey, that thing just popped back into existence.
But you
So-
had it on you right there, like feet away from that Death Knight, and she couldn't sense it.
But here's the thing.
I think the
though.
point King is trying to make is that I'm not there. I don't get to talk.
Well, here's the thing. They can scry it, right? They know what they're looking for. They can scry that kind of item, and we don't have the magical like items on us to prevent people from scrying us. Only Angel has that. So unless we want to take that off him, but then that leaves us open to other kinds of issues. We could use that blank check that you have to get possibly more of those kinds of items to like prevent people from scrying our locations and what
How
we
can they
have.
scry it?
Because they know what the name of it is, I think.
You just have to know the name of something to scry it.
I think
Why?
Thought you had to be
If they could
familiar
scry
with
it, why didn't
Know what
they?
it looks like, all that kind of stuff.
How do you think she knows that it's back in this plane of existence? Like they
And
have a lead on it.
Furthermore, like, isn't it better off in our hands?
I think so.
So the
Yes.
thing that we're voting on right now is whether or not you guys want to have me as the commander based
'cause I
on
think
my
King's
morals
answer
and
is
my
no.
beliefs.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a private vote, a public vote? How does this work?
This
Heads
is
down.
yeah, heads down,
up,
7
7
up.
Yeah, heads up,
whatever
7
it
up.
is.
Blimey.
Heads up, 7 up. That's right.
It's been a while since I've left school. So
So you guys basically get to vote whether or not you think I've been making the right calls. You think I'm going to continue to make the right calls, but if you have an issue with me saying we're destroying the fucking plague, then I'm not your commander.
Or the
because
rod.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And here's
because I
the,
don't think the rod's. Well, the rod's not. We got to do something about it.
I think
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we. I think we need to take responsibility for the things like this isn't going to be the only thing that we find down in Ringwell that's like dangerous and gnarly and brings up sort of unearths these types of problems.
Well,
It's
but
gonna keep
that's
happening.
what I'm kind of saying. Like, for example, with the autophage, we can 100% take care of that problem right now. We can blast it out of existence. It can not completely wipe out the city. It's not going to be on us that we let this thing out and destroyed the city. Like,
I mean, at least just needs to be careful with that vial.
so as I said, if you're not okay with my call of that, now is your time to say, not my commander, because that is my call on that thing, which is why I'm giving you guys the opportunity.
I think in order for us to be the most effective mercenary company, which is what we are, we need to be ruthless. And we need to make use of the tools at our disposal because nobody's out there just giving us shit to be able to fight off Ajax. So if we find stuff that's questionable, I don't think we can play the goody two-shoes role here and try to destroy it or give it to other people because at least we understand that our motives are for the chain. And we can't trust other people's motives. Like they might seem good, but like we
So
can only
if-
trust ourselves.
To be clear, at no point I've said give it to other people.
Just destroy
I've
it.
said the autophage needs to go, like destroyed.
and the rod.
Like the rod, we got to figure something else out with. We can't keep it in Ringwell. We can't give it to other people. We can't give it to the Sapphire Sky because the fucking undead people now know that it's there. So that's another problem that we got to figure out. But unless we want the entire undead organization coming after us, it's
What? Okay. What do we know about this undead organization?
we found the crown we thought for them. Their leader.
Do we know that this person is from House Valletta?
I guess
Not for sure.
I guess it's
I don't think your characters know who.
characters know.
I don't think your
'cause
characters
there was
know
that
who that person
cutscene.
is.
That's why we know.
And I don't think you haven't done any research to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the Zeorge didn't know who she was.
Right.
Maybe we should get Angel to find out who she is. If we've got 24 hours for this whole rod of Count von Glauer, Zeorge, Death Knight lady situation. I think maybe we should figure out who she is and where she came from.
No, I 100% agree on that.
Yeah.
That sounds like something the commander of the chain should decide.
That's before we. Is that before?
Maybe if there were a new
Who are you?
commander.
How'd you get in
Maybe
here?
if there
Oh
were,
yeah. Who's his voice again? Yeah.
One of those
OD.
fucking ghosts.
It's
chat is split on who should the next commander be, and I'm not going to say who all of the
Copper, isn't it?
big cat.
Yeah.
What about OD? It's like
Odie
great.
talks too much.
Where is he? Oh,
Big
he's
Cat just
here,
comes,
actually.
comes in and does claw,
What do you
claw,
think,
tentacle,
Odie?
tentacle, sword, claw,
Yeah.
AK-47.
Bazooka.
Would you like to keep Commander King, Odie?
Anyway, King has called for vote of no confidence.
Kill him.
Oh, that's not on the table.
dear.
Odie.
So like I said, keep in mind, I'm going to destroy the autophage if I continue being commander. Because I'm not. Okay
What if
with
the
that.
new commander commanded you to kill Lady Erosavar?
Kill Lady Erosavar?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why they would pick me to kill Lady Erosavar.
What if the new commander commanded you to do so?
That is a good question.
I love it when I don't have to do anything. I just
Yeah.
cheer and watch.
I mean, I stand by the chain, and the chain is my family, but that's kind of flat, evil. But why would you ask your cleric to do that?
What
I
if
guess that's not the
What if you're
question.
the
That's
only
not the
Because you're
there.
question.
testing
there.
your cleric's loyalty.
I mean, I think I've already answered that. I let her go.
Mm.
But I,
But
mean,
that was
I
a-
made the order, but
That was as the commander, though, right? And I think
But
that
I'd
you did have a
advise-
good intention.
I'd advise against it because I don't think it's right.
Mhm.
Wait a minute.
And I,
Did you
quite honestly, I don't think
skirt
it's right
around
for
that?
the chain because then we make a enemy of the next largest organization in the city or house in the city,
I think if
especially
we keep,
the one that's going to let us cast spells.
I
Someday,
think if
maybe.
we keep
So,
attempting to try and please everyone, like we will keep just cutting ourselves short of what we're capable of doing here, and like we'll never be able to reach our goals.
not once have I said, should we please everybody? There's one specific thing that I put on the table, which is I'm saying if I'm going to keep being the commander, I'm destroying the autophage
Mhm.
because I'm not okay with that getting out in the city.
But the
That can
larger
kill us,
context for
that
that
can
is
kill-
that voting in favor of keeping your current commander means voting in favor of King leading by his own morality. That's what the autophage is just an example.
Yeah.
And there are other examples. There's Lady Rosavar and the rod of Count Rodar von Glauer.
I do think we need somebody in command who can ride the line more in the middle than where you currently stand on most things. And I think we can be more effective as a company and help others, like, so we can attain our own goals in that way. So for
that's
me,
one
it's
vote for no,
for me, it's a vote for no confidence.
Lieutenant.
I'll vote no.
Copper.
No meaning not the commander, and yes meaning you stay the commander.
Yeah, no means I'm out.
No means
Yes
no.
means
no.
I'm in.
I'm gonna say yes. So the reason is I feel like you're kind of like there's you. if that balance was shifted to some, like you're kind of like keeping the chain in this kind of, it may go too evil or too dark, and you kind of have this like balance to that stuff. So I think that's so I'll say yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do need to establish a better. Matt and I talked about this earlier. To deal with Lady Rosavar, I need to say, "Oh, hey, there's a pie with my name on it. I got to go outside. Judge, you're in charge of the prisoner,
Right.
or
Because
somebody else, right?" Although, I mean,
Bit of an
Slim was on the
FC.
same page, but as of not killing her, but
yeah, there could be
but
ways
not because of right or wrong, but because of the potential consequences that would come to the chain for doing so.
Well, correct, and that weighed on it as well for the final decision, right? Like killing a knight of the church was one of the many reasons why it's like, okay, we can't just kill this person.
Yeah, I mean,
Slim
you-
had no problem with that.
Like Slim is the new member of the chain. Well, everybody else in the senior officer corps, and even Leech, these guys have known King for years. And King has been a loyal member of the chain, and he would do what the commander told him to do. Right. But the same token, the commander, the hypothetical you posed is a good question, but the commander would not have ever asked King
Right.
to murder
A good
somebody.
commander
Knows-
understands his tools.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like there's a difference between King as the chronicler and King as the commander.
Mhm.
Like when things like that come across my plate,
Kind of like the
I have
vile
to-
silencer thing, right?
don't
It's
tell
like-
him if
Yeah, if he's aware of certain things, then he's got to act on it. He's got to do something about it, and then he's
Yeah.
complicit. So
Slim a senior officer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Took your oath,
When we
didn't you?
gave you the
you took
sign
it
off,
you
Chris
took
and I
the
took the oath.
Yep.
And it was after we did the underground job.
Yeah. Oh, me.
I guess, yeah, we went round and
Two
Two
votes
noes, one yes.
against the commander, 1 vote in favor.
Well, we are a mercenary company. And the survival and well-being of our company should come before any sentimental feelings. I vote no.
So I think
That's 3 against and only 1 in favor. It turns out it doesn't matter what Leach says.
Right.
Oh, you didn't need to vote
Right,
after
Too
all.
late. I'll abstain from voting then. So.
Oh my god.
The vote has been set. You'll never know which way I
Oh
feel.
my god.
Commander, it's been a pleasure to serve under you.
Yeah, that was kind of thrown in your lap anyway. So
And now it's time to choose a new commander. That's the next
So fast.
phase.
Bloody hell, how do we do that?
Somebody nominates somebody and then you vote. You can't nominate yourself.
I vote Slim.
I will be a magnificent commander. I will lead you all to glory.
God, he's going to lead us into a massive fucking bloody battle. I mean,
Oh, that's what I should have done. I should have had a. Well,
Vote.
no, it's not. But it's not really up to the.
No. It's
not up
just
to
curious to see what
I
the
would-
chat
yeah.
thinks.
No, it has to come down to it.
I not actually nominate Boots because I think that with us being in capital right now.
What, Boots? He spilled the beans.
Still to me.
But in the name of
fun.
diplomacy.
This creature's got diarrhea of the mouth.
I think in our particular situation, a bit of tact is not unneeded. And Boots is familiar with capital. It's also one of those things where, we can try it out for a bit, see how it goes. As you can see here, we can always vote no confidence if it turns out that the diarrhea continues.
look, I'm not a great politician, but I do know a bit of the ways of this place, and I can be persuasive if the need be. Persuasive to these people.
perhaps a prince?
We need a face
Sir.
man.
Is no one else going to nominate anyone else?
I nominate Boots.
Oh, okay. You second the nomination.
Mm-hmm. I
I'm
second.
gonna vote for Slim. He's pretty strong.
That's right. That's right. The copper.
So what are we?
I think
I
at this
would-
point it goes. It's
Wait. What?
Oh, sorry.
So you can't nominate yourself. Does
can't
everyone
nominate
have to nominate somebody?
You don't have to. No, absolutely not. But you're not required to nominate anybody.
God, I really don't want to be the. Phil doesn't really doesn't want to be the leader, but I think Slim would.
Well, I mean, you can't be forced to be the commander. If somebody nominates you, you can withdraw.
But Slim would never do that.
Okay,
Slim
well,
would be proud,
but everybody loves Slim. Slim is a cool fucking character. I think Slim is dope as hell, but I think it's unreasonable. You undertook this character explicitly to get out from underneath the burden of being the commander.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
I think in this
so-
situation, like Judge would tell Slim, like, look, I think what you are seeking can be a lot more effective, not in the commander role.
I'm new here.
Mhm.
I would like to see what Judge can do.
Ooh, you're nominating Judge.
Yeah. Do I get a vote?
So we've got nomination, 2 nominations for Boots, 1 for Slim, 1 for Judge right now.
Yeah. So
Well, did you just withdraw?
once there are nominations,
Mhm.
Slim
yeah.
hasn't- have you withdrawn?
Is that the context for the I'm new here? Like, I'm not saying no now.
Okay.
Maybe no. Maybe yes later.
Right.
But I only joined you guys like 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
I guess.
Yeah.
He's quite new, isn't he? All right, he's withdrawn.
Slim's ambitious, but he's not stupid. I don't think he could expect to command the loyalty of the company, being that he just joined.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have my loyalties then.
Loyalty.
Great.
Huh?
So unless anyone else is going to nominate anybody, Slim has withdrawn himself from the voting. That means Boots and Judge have been nominated. And at that point,
I nominate Odie.
Do you have something caught in your throat?
That's
Is that what you-
Loyalty.
at that point, then and then all the senior officers, including King, get to vote on between Boots and Judge. Two people have been nominated.
and vote like Judge and Boots can vote for themselves if they want. I assume.
I don't know what does the Chronicle say?
It doesn't make sense that the people who have been nominated would get to vote.
Would they? They would just vote for themselves, I would assume.
Or for nobody, right?
For no-
Like
oh.
either they
Well,
vote for
would-
nobody
yeah,
or
it
they
would
vote
be
for their
up to
opponent.
the other. So
It could be a tie
1, 2,
vote.
3, 4.
then we have
Okay.
to call in.
Well, then you got to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Then he goes to battle.
yeah.
Or we demote
Now he
Leech
goes.
back, and it's between the three.
Yeah.
of us.
Got a worm here. Put it in your ear.
Oh,
Fuck
jeez.
with me.
Or we just demote Leech back, and we have 3 in that.
Too late. You can't take it back. Done.
There's
I mean,
no way
I'm-
to demote him until we
Oh,
find
yeah, I guess that's
bring a
true.
new
Yeah, quite. You're
commander.
not, you're, not in
We've ruined
charge.
it.
You're not in charge anymore. Button it.
Either way, these 2 are up.
All right.
Off our vote.
I'm going to keep a tally.
What's your?
We both have a
Should it
strength
be a
of
secret
10,
ballot?
just to make sure.
Okay,
So there's some
strongest.
suspense.
It wouldn't be
up
secret
to
in
you.
the chain. So
Well, no, I mean, it might be.
alignment?
It's up to you guys. You guys are the Chronicle has instances where they did secret ballots. There are instances where they did it. There are instances where they enfranchised junior officers. All sorts of stuff. It's it's
Well,
not.
and we may have to.
There's no. You guys are not a government that has a constitution. You guys
Right.
just have traditions, and the
Right.
tradition of the chain. You guys have been around for over 1,000 years. Actually, probably about 3,000 years. And so all sorts of stuff like this has happened. If you guys want to do a secret ballot, that's fine. But
Sounds
it's up to you.
But it would be dramatic.
Dramatic.
We get to do a drum roll.
Yeah, I don't. Well, either way, I'm fine with either way.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't mind saying who it is. I don't mind secrets.
I mean, I guess it's more exciting for the stream. I don't know.
What do they want? Secret ballot or?
Yeah, ask the stream. What do they want? Secret ballot or just call it?
Mods, what does the stream want?
The general consensus.
Should the what is mods? Let's ask the people.
I'll write it.
What does the Chronicle say? Does the Chronicle say?
That's like a lot of what?
It won't take long.
What does the Chronicle say? Does the Chronicle say that it's a secret ballot, or does the Chronicle say that everybody has to vote openly, so you know who to hold responsible when things goes out? This is gonna take a few minutes. I'm not super worried about it happening right now.
What's the one? Oh, this is for secret
Cutting
ballots.
up
These are.
I thought you were passing
ballots.
notes already.
Yeah.
About who to vote for.
The mods have polled the electorate, and the electorate thinks it should be a secret ballot.
Ooh, intrigue.
Judge and Boots are on their honor not to vote for themselves.
Well, why would they even vote?
Oh, they even.
I don't know.
If they're on their honor not to vote for themselves, that means they vote for each
They'd
other.
have to vote for the that would
Yeah,
cancel
so they
each other
just-
out.
they don't
Yeah, they
vote.
would just not vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't vote. Okay.
So yeah.
That's 4 of us. And OD. Do it all secretly over here so you can't see.
Thank
How
you.
do you spell wank?
Oh my god.
It's C-O.
CO.
You can't. Hang on. Copper can't read or write, can he?
You know
How's
how to
he
spell
gonna-
his
He
name.
just draws a picture of
Yeah,
it.
it's a draw.
It's like a
True.
little smiley face with horns, or a little smiley face with boots.
You have
Or,
to draw
or just
a
like
picture,
by
Thomas.
total surprise, it's like a really accurately like
Oh my
shaded.
God.
Yeah, it's like-
it's, like a,
Yeah.
it's like a beautiful
Perfect.
portrait.
Oh my god.
Wasn't there a Scottish vote,
Oh, sorry.
and the ballot that some voter wrote next to every name wrote wanker, 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 wanker,
Yeah.
and then one of them wrote not wanker or something like that, and according to the rules that counted.
Yeah.
That indicated clear preference was what
Yeah.
they
Yes.
what they ruled.
That's funny.
What if it's a tie?
He's doing it. He's
By the way,
drawing some
if it's a
portrait.
tie,
For those-
Wait.
if it's a tie, we should
let the junior
viewers-
officers decide.
We should let the viewers decide.
Well, that's the junior officers.
oh, okay.
If it's a tie, 1, 2, 3 is.
I think that like it would be up to you guys
4,
how
5,
you
6.
use the junior officers.
Uh-huh.
You might just ask Angel.
Yeah.
You might just
I would
act
say
like
Angel.
Angel is kind of the head of the junior officers.
Yeah.
And then, but it's still going to be up to the.
Yeah.
What do you think? Why do you think it's going to be a tie?
I don't know.
We'll see. I'm super curious.
I'm curious.
Okay, well that indicates clear preference.
Winker.
You write wanker as well.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
4 wankers of 1.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a tie. There are 3 votes for Judge and 1 vote for Boots. Judge,
Really?
you're the commander of the Chain of Acheron.
What?
Thus begins the Book of Judge. You've got a new page in the Chronicle to write, Chronicler.
An intriguing
yes, you do.
choice.
You have a new page to write.
Sorry, Boots. Maybe next time.
You're still lieutenant.
That's true. He's still lieutenant. Although it is
Well,
the,
yeah, I was
it is
gonna
the,
say, that's
it is
up
the
to you.
commander's prerogative
No,
to appoint a lieutenant.
absolutely, lieutenant.
All right.
I mean, I nominated you to be commander, so I don't necessarily.
Oh,
want this
dear.
nomination.
Congratulate the new commander in Infernal, would you?
Yeah, OD is perfectly happy to dance around Judge's shoulders and be like, "All hail, a new commander!"
Horns like
Thank
me.
you.
Now,
All right.
should we get on with it?
And then
Yeah,
he flits back over to you and starts whispering in your ear. He's going to have you killed. Judge hates you. Judge has always hated you.
God, what is this? Gollum shit.
Is it true, Judge?
No, it's not true. Just behave yourself.
Oh, Judge is lying to you.
OD, quiet. I'm a senior officer now. You're fine.
Right.
You'll find.
Oh, I can demote you now.
Quiet.
Go for it.
Is that an order?
No.
Oh, shit.
Well,
What?
Nothing. I just saw something. Anyway. Anyway.
If you,
Unforeseen consequences. Then, by the way, the title of tonight's episode was
Oh,
No Confidence.
no comment.
Wow. So you guys had this all plotted out.
Okay.
little
Our
plot.
script writers.
You guys
did,
were
yes.
plotting.
That's why you were tapping
I mean,
away.
I told him that I was thinking about calling the vote after the Reservoir thing.
Yeah.
That honestly super
So-
surprised me. I had no idea that's what you were gonna say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when he says blah blah blah, no vote of no confidence. At first, I thought this is campaign diary, folks. Welcome to the campaign diary. At first, I thought, oh, is this Lars's way of saying that he's like as a player, he's pissed at something I did? But that was like, oh, wait, actually, this is super dramatic. Yeah, fuck yeah, voted no confidence would be really. And then I actually asked him. I said, I talked about him today. I said, wait, hang on a minute, because I just literally sat and thought, how would this work? And I said, based on me trying to figure out what it says in the Chronicle about this process. And I said, if that's how you feel, I think King would just quit. I think he would be like, no, it's not me. And then he said, no, because how I feel is like, I don't not want to be commander. I just want to make sure they understand that if I'm commander, then we do things my way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's why I think no confidence. I'm like, I think you're right. I don't think that's I quit. That's I want to take a vote. And then you guys are stuck with the consequence of the vote. So I thought that was dope. Anyway, Lars, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to see if you're okay with me leaving
Yeah.
because of the.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Lars has had a family emergency.
Yep.
All right.
And so Lars will not be joining us for the rest of the. I mean, this might be a good place to stop for all I know. That was incredibly dramatic, although not much happened tonight so far.
I have no idea
a whole
what
bunch
to do
of
right now.
a whole bunch of players
Yeah,
are
I
going to be.
assume we're still going to go let the lady out unless
Yeah.
you guys are going to change your mind from that because that was what.
But also, didn't you and I talk about something?
that's none of their business.
That's none of their business.
Oh.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of drama,
Yeah, more drama.
Secrets.
Say Lars. Say Lars.
Yeah. I mean, you can just
No.
you can run me to.
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
the thing.
yeah, they're just gonna. I don't know if there's gonna be a battle tonight or not, but
My character. she's-
you're back to being the chronicler now, so I think everybody has a
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good idea what your character would do.
So he can't read all that.
Oh, Two Shoes is gonna
He can't read all that, but I could.
be like, what the fuck?
Two Shoes is your
Mm-hmm.
one of your retainers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay. All right.
Welcome to command, Judge.
I have to make some decisions.
I have to make some decisions.
Just a couple, I think.
Do not disappoint us.
Yeah. Let's look.
What the fuck? No, stop it all with you.
You are judge, jury, and
Execution.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's the name of your sword again?
Exile.
Oh, close.
judge, jury.
Judge, jury, and exile.
What was the one? The fan art? Judge George. Like,
Judge Judy and
George
execution.
Judge Judy and Executioner.
Judge Judy and executioner.
Yes, I thought that was brilliant.
I don't believe I've ever seen Judge this giddy.
I'm pretty stoked right now.
Right, yes. She does look rather happy, sir. I am myself. Be promoted. Perhaps you'll stop putting things on me when I see through OD's eyes.
Perhaps not.
Thank
One
you,
way to
sir.
find out.
Yeah, you don't have
I
to
don't
call
have
you
to
don't-
call you sir anymore. Sir.
You still say it.
It'll be a hard habit to kick, I think, sir.
Well, we just had a very dramatic and
Let's
probably
go,
for the characters a somewhat tense moment.
Yeah.
But now you're still in the candle shop.
Okay.
Yeah, we
King
need
is
to-
like, Judge, what are your orders?
I think we should still release the woman from the
What's her name
prismatic
again?
cell.
Violet.
Violet.
Well,
Violet.
Violentia.
it's
Lady
not
Violentia.
Violentia, right?
Yeah, you
So,
you
this is
believe
someone
disguised
you
as-
believe
as
that
disguised
you
as.
believe that this is somebody who's disguised as Lady
She
Violentia.
took the ring off. She wasn't Black Iron Pact, and she says she can open the gold door where a Black Iron Pact went through. Right?
She said she knows how the door can be opened.
Can be opened. Okay.
She didn't say she could.
Well, that's more than we know.
What about
And we've been to everywhere else on this.
level.
The first floor, at least. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
this
the only
is like-
the only thing we've not done is the cauldron.
Yeah.
Like, actually, OD, when you went to go to the when I sent you to touch the goop in the cauldron,
I don't like
what did you see? What happened there?
Eyes, teeth.
Eyes and teeth. You were terrified, OD?
Huh.
Doesn't sound too appealing.
Don't like it. No.
I won't send you again there. Perhaps. All right. So yeah, we haven't done.
Yeah, there still is the thing. What did I suppose this is a question for King, who's still here,
Yes.
technically, right?
King.
Hello. Yes.
What did the Sapphire Sky tell you about the cauldron?
I talked to Marcelo Scipio. He didn't know. He had never heard of it, but he wrote it down and said they were going to look into it. He said it's exactly the kind of thing that we can rely on them for.
Okay.
As far
So-
as getting intel on what
Yep.
the
He said
heck it is.
lore. He said lore. Removing curses is right up their alley. Bringing them innocent knights to kill is not.
I see.
Because if there's a way to contain this thing,
And King talked about.
I think we should wait for Marcellus to do his job to do the work
right?
and come back.
Get some
Considering how
info.
quickly he got Boots's, Slim's bracers.
That was fast.
I think
was very fast.
I think we're looking at hours or a day,
Yeah.
and then we'll know something more about this. And until then, maybe it'd be a good idea to leave it alone.
And then with King talking about killing the what was it called again? The
Autophage.
autophage, right? I thought it's all dead apart from perhaps
The one you have.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it all needs.
why did that one live? Didn't they all disintegrate?
No, I had two in me, didn't I?
Yeah.
Take one out
The
or something.
worms.
Took one out and I took a live one.
And you put it in a
And I
bottle.
put it on. I put
Is
it.
it still alive in
No,
there?
it's still. I don't know.
It's still writhing.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Actually, what it did when he put it in the vial is it like withered and it looked like it's dying, but then but there is still this kind of floating moat in there.
Stasis.
That was what you saw when you opened the door.
Right.
This kind of cloud of moats came out, and those moats turned into the worms you fought.
We've got a weapon of mass destruction, basically.
Yeah.
If we ever need it.
Yeah, essentially. I do wonder if we should have somebody do some research with that to see how we can use it most effectively if we need
You
to.
mean let it out?
No, I mean, for instance, if the Sapphire Sky is familiar with this kind of thing, they might not be a bad group to go to investigate it a little bit further, as long as they can ensure that it's not destroyed.
I think that's dangerous.
Is King talking? Okay.
I think
And-
I think the more we tell the Sapphire Sky about the autophage, then the fewer choices we
I
have.
see no reason to trust them either.
Mm-hmm.
In any other situation, they would just as likely be our enemy as our ally.
That's true.
I wonder if I should have it put it somewhere safer, though, right? If it's just on me in a vial, and I fucking...
Right. Trip and fall or
You,
something.
you die on the
Yeah.
regular, so like, yeah, probably.
The last emperor thought the only safe place was inside Ringwell.
We just keep it there for now.
Well, other people are coming through Ringwell
Yeah.
right now too.
Oh.
We
Other
don't. We
people are gonna
definitely
get
don't
in
want them getting it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll keep hold of it for now. Be all right.
Yeah, I mean, we can
All right.
we can put it in the in the portable.
Right, no, no.
Well, what's it called?
Bag of holding.
The bag of
Like
holding.
a-
You guys don't have a portable hole, you have a bag of holding.
Something like a hard shell, like a
Or a
box.
protectorant of some
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a shielded thing.
Yeah,
That's King. That's better than just. He's got the bag of holding.
Right.
I'd rather it be in the bag of holding than on leech.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Is there any other things in the bag of holding that King was holding on to that he was reluctant to let us have hold of?
Matt doesn't know.
yeah, I can't...
The only thing that was in there was the rod,
so.
right? And then we
Is there
did that, and you have that now.
Yeah, it was just the rod, really. Rod was the main one, where he's like, you got to give it to me.
I think there was something in there before, but then I think it might have been the crystal, and then you dispensed it. You doled it out.
Yeah.
I think there was something that he's like, I'm gonna hang on to this, but then I think
That might have been a sword.
then I think you used it.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think at this point we can go ahead. Actually, I'm gonna call. Is Angel still around somewhere where I can call him to come back in?
I can get him.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to make sure that the information of the.
Angel, we need you. King,
Oh, that's right. He's got the diplomat.
Oh, he's got the
what's in the pouch?
Also,
Is that maybe something that the commander should have?
I'm,
Well, Lars isn't here, so we can defer that.
I'm okay
discussion.
with the chronicler having the diplomat's pouch for now, but I do want Angel to work under Boots moving forward instead of King for spy master things. Yeah, because I basically, whenever Angel gets here, I just want to tell him about the change in command and to relay that to the rest of the company.
Yeah, okay. Well, Angel shows up.
Mhm.
Anyway, how'd it go? He says. He's smoking.
King is chronicler, and I'm commander, and Boots is lieutenant. So we need you to relay this information to the rest of the company.
Okay, boss.
Smith.
Does he always smoke?
Yeah, I don't think you've seen him smoke before.
Oh, I forgot to tell him about you. Wait, little retcon. I'll remember to mention. Actually, no, I won't. Never
No.
mind. They'll figure it out on their own. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot.
That's awesome.
I got a little bit too much judge in real life.
Not too worried.
You're just like,
She
senior
didn't
officer
tell
now.
Angel to tell everybody that we've promoted Leech.
I totally forgot.
Yeah.
But he knows. But he just didn't tell everyone.
Yeah,
No.
well, probably Angel. Yeah, that's probably more surprising than anything else.
Was
to
Angel here whenever that happened? I thought he was in the room.
Angel was here when Angel was in the room when King gave his speech.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
the promotion he saw, and then he was like, "I think I better go."
Right.
Right.
This seems like
Serious.
it's between you guys.
That's the thing he's most surprised about. Lee.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Like, yeah.
Angel's
All
been
right.
around a while.
Poor old Lee.
Angel's, you know,
Oh, yeah.
he's been in the
He-
chain for a while. He's seen multiple commanders, and he probably had his own private thoughts about whether or not King was going to last.
You know, at least we broke the curse, though. This commander didn't fucking die.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and by the way, it's not
a
unusual. It's
generation.
historically, almost every time the commander has called for a vote of no confidence like this, the senior officers support him.
In letting him step down.
No, they're
Like,
like,
keep
nope,
him
you're
in.
the guy.
Oh,
It's usually when somebody else calls for a vote of no confidence. So,
it's a
Anyway.
harder sell.
well, I mean, typically, I think the commander, according to the lesson of the chain, the chronicle, the lesson of the chronicle is that a commander who's like, I don't know if I'm the right guy. That's typically the guy you want.
Yeah.
But in this instance,
The reluctant.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but in this instance,
I voted yes.
anyway. So, yeah, Boots is like, no problem, boss.
Perhaps they couldn't read you.
Did you just write yes?
No, what he did,
No.
Yeah.
I voted yes for King, but then here,
this is Copper's vote.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a picture of this. I'll take a picture of this. I'll put it on Twitter. There's no way it's too small.
Oh my
There's no way we're
God.
gonna be able to.
Beautiful. It's
That's
just
great.
as we expected.
Like I said, it indicated a clear preference.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I tried to get all the
There's
features in there.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm gonna keep it forever. Okay, let's go down into the caves. We'll go down into the chamber with Violentia in it, and we will use the prismatic shard or crystal to.
Are we getting
Get
Is
her
she going
out.
to do it? Whatever he's doing.
I would think so.
He's more familiar, maybe.
Well, yeah, he's used it before. He's familiar with like kind of the work that's needed, and also he's already has psionic abilities anyway, so he can just channel it further, as far as I'm concerned.
But I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm.
Like,
It seemed like whenever the dragon,
I think you don't, but I think Slim would.
oh, okay.
yeah, okay.
Like
As far as, like, how you focus.
having what the gem gives you is it gives you psionic charges. They're actually in setting. They're called charges, and that lets you manifest psionic abilities. And all you need to do in order to get through this, according to the experiments you've done, is just burn through all the charges, and it'll drop the wall. How long it'll drop the wall for, you don't know. But it's almost like a unique manifestation. Costs 12 charges, right?
Gotcha.
Result causes this cage to go away.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
What's
I would do it.
Lady Violentia stands up when you walk back
hang on.
in.
Before we step in,
Oh,
let's
okay.
make sure that we're taking like some precautions and things like that, because
Well,
she's already lied about who she is. We don't know who she really is or who she works for, and we can't cast any magic in
which
that
room
Oh,
is she
yeah.
in?
The one, this one,
This
circle.
one right here,
Oh,
Neither
Is
can
it-
she.
or
Right
no,
here.
she's in this one.
that one, yeah.
She's in that one.
Yeah,
she
can't cast.
So there's
magic,
two
that's correct.
exits
Should
she
we,
could take and run to.
well, one
no,
exit.
there's one exit.
We should
This
probably
is,
like
Oh, it's a dead end.
block
Yeah.
it or something, just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Copper and I'll we'll be in the doorway.
Okay.
Okay. And then Slim, you're the only one who can use any kind of psionic abilities while you're in here. So, can you remind me what you can do with your psionic abilities without the crystal?
I can move things around. I can. How would he say it? I can do Misty Step.
Okay.
And
Translocate is usually the word.
yeah, and he can. What was the third thing?
And you're the strongest, I think, out of all of
he
us.
can jump. He can do the jump spell
Okay.
essentially.
So,
And
That is no doubt the most attractive fan art of Judge I've ever seen.
do these things work in there?
Yes,
okay.
because they're psionic. All your psionic abilities work in here, but what you noticed was when you tried to Misty Step into, it's like the God Blind does not affect psionics, but the prismatic wall still does its job, which is nothing can get in there.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna rely on you, Slim, that if she tries to make a break for it or pull anything funny, I want you to either restrain her or incapacitate her, but don't kill her, because we still want to try and get some information out of her before we see what happens next.
So we want to get her out, get information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make sure she doesn't leave. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Very well.
Okay.
So we go in.
Yeah. So, because you're gonna have the prismatic crystal, and we'll go up to it and.
You explain to her what we're going to do, right? So
Yeah.
she's going to go, we're
She
about to
doesn't
get her
know-
out.
She doesn't know what need. Well, yeah, she needs to know we're going to get her
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's happening. Yeah, not that we're going to be a bit weird about it. Just
Right.
like we're
Yeah.
here to get you out.
Yeah. Like we just want to get some information. But you were saying that she stands up whenever we come in.
Be prepared to move out of the circle. I don't know
yeah,
how long
quick.
it'll.
She stands up as the Chain of Acheron because she's just kind of sitting, maybe dozing lightly with her back against the rock.
Is she okay?
She seems fine.
Because she hasn't. How many
Probably.
Been there for
2
like a day.
days
Ah,
without water?
Nope, no water.
2 days without water.
She seems fine.
I
Wow.
think. Oh, she seems fine.
Yep.
2 days without water is pushing it a bit, right?
For a
Well,
human,
for a human. Sorry, yeah, I guess.
She's not.
All right.
Yeah,
You're just pretty
It's
thirsty by
pushing
that point.
yeah.
Yeah, she
not
must
good.
be gasping.
It's not good.
Pint.
Yeah.
We'll go
Anyway.
for a pint after this. She's not getting mixed up in there.
She stands up, and as the senior officer corps of the Chain of Acheron enter, led by Judge, she stands up and goes, "Ah, I wondered when this would happen. What can I do for you, Commander?"
So we think we have a way out for you. We have a prismatic shard,
Ah,
and it's full.
excellent.
And we think that we can use this to break open the barrier, but we'll need you to get out quickly.
I must say, she says, and she puts her hand against the wall, you're quite the most resourceful organization I've ever encountered.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We try.
Dwarf.
So I believe the agreement was that upon your release, we'll have an opportunity to talk about where you're from and how to get through the door.
how to get through the door, I remember us talking about, but I don't remember telling you I would divulge where I'm from.
Oh, maybe I just misremembered that. Okay, sorry.
But I'm
You did say
I'm
that-
eager to help you in exchange for getting out of this cage.
Yes, it seems very inconvenient.
You did mention that it could be beneficial to both of our organizations.
Yes.
From
So, yeah.
her getting out, or
Oh, I think we have.
this is Anna talking.
What she said was we have all the same enemies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right, we're gonna try and do this now and see how it goes. Slim, do you want to give it a shot?
All right, so I guess Slim will do his thing, but before he starts, he's just gonna, if you betray us, I will gut you.
I believe he would.
You would.
And then I'll.
It doesn't work. Mark off the crystal.
Do you have the stats for the crystal? Like, do you have a card or anything?
I have it all written in my.
The Slim, you've seen Slim do this before. This is he activates the crystal glows, and his sword is wreathed in psionic energy. Looks like the Bifrost, basically, in his hand. But this uses all 12 of the charges. So the crystal glows quite a bit more brightly. And as it does, as it glows, as the glow rises, the barrier goes, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh.
And the barrier comes down, and Lady Violentia smiles. And then the barrier is gone, and the crystal, which is always glowing a little. Like if you look at the picture, it is self-illuminated.
Mhm.
The crystal goes dead, and it's
Yeah.
now just a chunk of white quartz. And Lady Violentia steps out from where the circle was, and you see almost like somebody lighting a fuse, this kind of psh, as this energy goes through the circular ward that was and has always been in here. And then once it's done, it glows for a second and then becomes dull. And now you almost can't even see that there's a ward here. It's just more of the stone that's all
resets
throughout.
itself.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
More of the stone that's all
Oh,
throughout.
so it would go again.
Oh, so don't,
Maybe,
don't,
or maybe it's just gone.
So I walk into no.
Don't step on
Yeah.
it.
No.
That's good to know. Yeah. Trap Ajax.
Lady Violentia bows
Oh.
and says, I'm in your debt.
Oh.
Now, what did we talk about?
We need to
Can I
know.
keep the inert stone?
Yeah.
Might as well.
I mean, there might be a way to rejuvenate it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that lore exists.
First of all,
What's
I'll take a
trophy.
Yeah.
water skin out of my pack and offer it.
Oh, well, I think the charade of me being more a human is no longer necessary to maintain. Obviously, I am not as I seem. What can I do for you?
Yeah, obviously.
Reveal your true self.
Well, that's important, but not as important as what we are down here to do, which is to get the wards. How do you get through the door? Without a wish.
The emperor made keys, and he gave a key to each of the lords of the great houses.
Interesting.
This was 1,500 years ago,
Yeah, right.
and houses have changed in that time, and it's 1,500 years ago is before even my memory. But I believe that there is still a key in the possession of House Valletta, House Alvaro, House Navarre, and House Verona. Almost certainly, they do not know what they have.
Oh.
It would be locked away in their manor house inside some vault of curios. Very easy to sneak in and steal if you happen to be one of the greatest thieves in the world.
Do the keys all look the same?
Yes, form follows function.
Do you know what they look like?
She says, well, follow me.
Are you one of the greatest thieves in the world?
Modesty prevents me from saying. Better to say that I am the cause of thievery in others. And she's going to leave. She's going to walk. She's going to.
We follow, like we're following her because she's going to show us something, right?
She takes you to the door,
Uh-huh.
and she says, they're brass and they're cylindrical, and they look like there was a fashion some hundreds of years ago for musical boxes. Mostly small, some large, wound up. They would spin away and play lovely little tunes you might buy as a curio for your daughter. The keys appear to be large scale versions of that, and they fit. And she points into the hole, into this hole. And the seal, and she puts her hands up. The seal is a magical ward, but the key will turn it off. The key doesn't open the door. Once the seal is off, anybody can open the door. The key turns off the seal.
Are the keys magical?
I don't know.
So wait, so it only takes one key. You don't have to combine them or anything like that.
Okay.
And you use the key and it turns the ward off.
Correct.
You can go through the door.
And then anyone can go through the door once the ward is down.
Ward's off.
So it doesn't
anything inside.
It doesn't reset itself the way that thing just.
I don't know. If I were to guess, I would say no, it wouldn't reset, but it might.
So once you open it,
Yeah.
It's probably just open.
Go.
Pandora's box.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is decide whose house to burgle.
So it's just one key is needed, and this
Yeah.
is the only other door. Even though there's 4 keys, only one's needed, and they're all the same. Like they'll all fit inside this door. Like there's not like 3 more doors past this one.
There are more doors.
But the same key opens.
I think yes. But here we're at the limits of my knowledge.
So, what happens to you now? You go back to the Black Iron Pact to rejoin their ranks as an infiltrator?
Or do you join the Chain of Acheron?
That's the cause of
greatest
all thieves,
mercenary.
right? Yeah.
In our age of glory,
Join us.
under Judge's commandership.
For me, it's back to business.
Sure.
My relationship with the Black Iron Pact is probably at an end. Hang on a second. I need to read something.
I'm kind of with you, though. Let's get her to join.
Yeah.
And she said she's the cause of all thieves. So if she can fucking
She's like
thieve
the head
this
of the
key
Thieves
for us,
Guild
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
We haven't got...
One last burgle.
Who's it?
What's
well-
the cause of a thief?
Greed? Quick money?
The head thief.
Yeah.
Well, that either means she gets things that people want it. I don't know.
Well, if we get her to join, even better.
Anyway,
Yeah.
she says, for me, it's back to business. I think my relationship with the Black Iron Pact is over, but I suspect yours is not. I will give you one more piece of advice, which you have not asked for. Call it out of the goodness of my, what do you call those things? Hearts.
Stomach. Oh.
The Black Iron Pact operate, this will not surprise you, out of their own manifold, the entrance to which can be accessed by using one of their rings.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you've got a few, haven't you?
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
gotta put it
3.
on though.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is real good.
Be careful.
Thank you for that piece of advice.
How were you able to wear one, but it not attached?
Oh, this is just a black metal ring.
Just a fake. Oh, okay.
That from Claire.
Looks good though, doesn't it?
It looks
Fooled you.
delightful, yes.
That's easy.
I'm still curious when you say you're the cause of all thieves.
Wow.
How do you access the manifold with said rings? Is it the same
Lady Violentia knows.
spinny ring?
No,
Is
no,
it
no,
like
no, no.
Is it like a pocket dimension thing? The way that the
remember
sapphire.
That's what she means by manifold.
Yeah.
That first time we were fighting them, they came in out of like nowhere. I think they were like, we hear their voices, but then they showed up. I think that's what.
Right.
I don't know. You
Like
could say
what
not.
Scipio does whenever he's trying to take us over to the tower.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, there's a capital seems to be a nexus for these kind of
Pockets.
yeah.
Because I'm certain she would have had to use it in some way to get to wherever the Black Pact is.
I don't. Matt doesn't know. Matt's gonna have to get back to you.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I wrote this down somewhere, but I don't remember what I wrote, and I want to trust earlier Matt before I throw him under the bus. But I think you might have to do something besides just put it on. I think you might actually have to like swear an oath or something.
Oh.
I think you might have to like quote unquote attune to it.
Okay.
Kind
You're
of
saying
like I do the devil's work. I think there's a component like that, and Lady Violentia knows, and she'll tell you.
Okay.
Matt doesn't remember.
That's fine. That's fine. As long as she tells us.
Well,
like,
as
and we have
long
it
as
info.
you're not planning on putting on the ring now,
No.
then I don't have to know right
There's a
this
finger
second.
in it.
But you guys had at least one
We had that
unused
with-
ring.
There is-
Yeah,
we definitely
we had one unused one.
Yeah,
so I
we
think
found on one of the.
because there was a discussion about putting on Rosabar
That's right.
or on
That's right.
and also on Angel. Like if Angel's failed his mission, to put it on.
That's right.
God, I swear to God, I know the answer to this.
Ajax related.
Um,
Winkers unite.
It might just be you put it on. It might just be you put it on and you go to Rakvinar, which is the name of their pocket world.
Interesting.
I'm going to bang on about it again. Come on. Why are the cause of all thieves?
Well, now, Leech, between professionals, I would never ask you what causes you to join the Chain of Acheron. Let's keep things professional and not get personal.
Can you help us? To
Yeah,
thieve?
when you said an easy job for the world's best thief,
Yeah.
were you volunteering?
Are you saying the Chain of Acheron isn't up to the job?
I'm not a thief.
Yeah, do we? Yeah.
But you employ some quite good thieves.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
I guess there must be.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Is it
Quite good thieves.
Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid doing business with me and my organization. Let's say, should you try and fail, talk to me.
How would we go about contacting you? Diplomat's pouch. What's your number, girl?
Actually, I think she does have a diplomat's pouch.
Ah,
Great.
Yeah.
So then we'll need a name.
Lady Violentia will do.
Okay.
damn it.
As
Interesting.
long as it works.
Test
All right.
it.
No, I'm sure it's
Here's
fine.
my number.
Not here in front of
Did
me.
you get
No,
it?
that's,
Yeah.
that's embarrassing and very.
Yeah. Meanwhile, some
desperate.
90-year-old woman named Lady Violentia gets a message. It's like, oh, I didn't know this thing was still on.
It just says, "Call me."
Leech sends her a dick pic.
Oh my god.
It was
Draw
cold.
it.
It's a bit
If you'll,
cold down
if you'll
in Ringwell.
excuse me, there is normally a war of succession when the head of our organization is indisposed. So I would like to go back now and stop that from happening.
Wow.
I'm curious to see who's taken over in my absence.
Have at it. I wonder if she's one of those like clockwork thingies.
I don't think so maybe shape the faceless or whatever. Thank you for your assistance.
Huh.
And for all the intel as well. It's very helpful.
Good luck, Commander. And she takes off.
All right.
Boom.
So
So-
now we know that if we want to like get through to anything else,
Well,
God and get some fucking keys.
I would very much like to own one of these music box things that she described.
Mhm.
Perhaps your friend with the blank check can get us one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I don't know how we play it exactly, but he certainly wants to get within our good graces. The only thing is, I don't know how we. Yes.
You might have been about to say this. King says, goes, the trick is, how do we ask him for it without telling him what it is?
Yeah.
Exactly.
He'll want to know.
We want a
Yeah.
music
I
box.
personally think it would be a bad idea to let anybody know what these things are and what they do.
Yeah.
Even letting them know that we want it gives them
Uh,
information that we might want to avoid.
I think we
Maybe we just
Take it.
Send in a thief.
Yeah.
We have a thief.
Who's our thief?
Angel. And
Angel.
them. The
Well,
whole
Angel's
organization.
assassin.
yeah, he would consider it rude if you called him a thief.
Oh.
He'd be like,
But he's headed a spy
But-
network.
but the practical difference between what he does and what you want him to do is neither here nor there.
Well, I
Okay.
think
You
we
know what would be
should-
cool?
Mhm.
Like if you guys get to a point where you're like, yes, we want one of these keys. This is actually what the Sapphire Sky is talking to us for, because they would never go steal this thing, but we'll fucking do it.
Right.
And if you guys decide who you're going to go rob, because you have a little menu of choices,
Mhm.
it might be cool if it were like a Angel and like a strike team of his saying, we'll take it. In which case,
Ocean's, Ocean's 11
yeah,
shit.
in which case, maybe it's not. This will be up to you guys. Maybe it's not your characters, or maybe it's some combination of your characters, depending on if you're like, yeah, I'm up for it. I'm a stealthy,
Yeah.
you know,
like a one shot
it would,
espionage.
yeah, maybe, and it would be, you know,
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be
and you guys,
pretty fun,
you guys
right?
would get to make junior officers of the chain who are spies, thieves.
I mean,
I want the like getting the crew together montage to happen.
Yeah.
Gotta go find.
I mean,
It's like
and it might
Armageddon.
be, by the way, if we did that, it might be the kind of thing where maybe some of you guys aren't members of the Chain of Acheron. Maybe Angel recruits you. Maybe Angel's like, this is somebody, your character is somebody that I, as the head of the spy network, have been dealing with. Hey, we want your help. How about you join the chain?
Huh.
Yeah, like the lady who showed up.
That's right. Who
Oh,
talked
yeah.
to Boots?
The eggs.
Who was like, she was,
Orlandria.
She seems
yeah,
capable.
Baby Sin.
Orlando. Yeah, I wrote a whole thing for her. So that would be
what
cool.
does she do again?
She's one of Angel's recruits.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I remember.
Yeah.
Come back.
She's
One
like a
of those little
thief.
birds.
She's like a thief in the city, I think, or something. Anyway.
Well, Commander, we do want one of these keys.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
That's not
So
an
how
question.
would then they gave us?
I'll talk to Angel. I'll get the.
Which house do we think would be
Right.
easier to infiltrate?
Well,
Well,
let's
Which
talk-
houses had
Yes, King.
there?
Which house do we want to upset?
Right.
Let's assume they're
okay.
going to find out about this.
Which,
Hopefully after the fact.
which houses did he?
I can't remember.
House. He named all. He named,
Valletta?
correct. He named.
Navarro.
He named
Valletta
all
undead.
the noble, all the great houses
The biggies.
of
Navarro.
capital. She implied that there may be, because this happened 1,500 years ago. The emperor may have given keys to people who were the heads of great houses then that have since collapsed. But if so, she doesn't know. You guys would have to do research.
Library.
Oh.
The library might.
That's a good
You might be able to go to the library and find out who.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well,
Like that's kind of classic Riojan skullduggery. Is we need to figure out who was in charge of the city 1,500 years ago, because even though this person's now a cheesemaker, and somewhere in their
Right.
closet,
their family is like heirloom chest. or
exactly,
something like that.
exactly,
It's under the
yeah,
bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
But there's no way to avoid playing D&D. Like there's still, no matter who it ends up being,
Well,
there's
Yeah,
still going to be a mission to get this.
No,
through.
I know. I'm
In
just,
order to go to the library, though, we need to be able to have
get
the
rid of
12 dragons
Dick here.
Right.
step down.
oh,
That
yeah.
might be something we can kind of
Yeah.
politic our way through.
Yeah.
Like if
Maybe
if,
that's something you can ask your buddy for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
There's another issue, King says.
Explode good news.
We, I don't know if this is something that you care about, Commander, but Zeorge has now something less than 24 hours. Are we okay with
Forgot about Zeorge.
the captain of the local constabulary getting his brain burned out on our account?
Well, I mean,
if he's off our scent,
I know you didn't ask me, but I mean, since I've got this infernal thing, I see no point in letting this guy get senselessly brain burned, especially because that just means that this Death Knight's going to come after me next
maybe.
in some capacity, right?
Well, she didn't know you had it though.
No idea.
Yeah, but I mean, is she just
presumably.
going to melt this guy's brain and then just go home and forget about it? No.
Oh no,
They're going to keep looking.
Yeah.
They're going to find it eventually. We could
probably the first time you use it.
assault the ambush is what I'm saying.
Assault the ambush.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like taking on that knight that came into the prancing minstrel? Dancing minstrel?
That night's pretty nasty.
Taking on, leading into a ward that would trap her there forever.
I don't know if that word is there. Is the hang on.
I've got these boots.
That's pretty awesome.
I can move pretty quick.
From a whenever the
I've got the rug.
prismatic
Yeah,
stuff
come here,
happened
come
and
here.
like the thing came down
Yep.
and then the seal like disappeared, did Judge get the was the impression that the ward is just gone now? Like that trigger is now gone?
Make
Or-
a Arcana check.
Okay.
Can I do
Judge-
that too?
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a good one for Slim to do.
What? No.
Oh yeah, absolutely you can. Anybody can.
We got a big. bonus.
The only reason I said it like that was because it's Judge is the one that's wondering.
Okay.
But anybody can know this.
Okay.
Oh, what's that?
Mm.
A 3.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
It's wizard nonsense. You don't know. You do not want a wizard
Magic.
nonsense. You want to make a roll?
Yeah, I'd like
You
to.
could just ask. You could just.
You got a big bonus.
So-
for that.
What are you thinking, Commander?
I'm thinking the word went away, but I want to know what you think. You're the one who touched it.
17.
It has all the hallmarks of classically recharging.
Okay.
I remember
Alright.
that when Lady Violentia when she ran in there, she did not know there was a warden there because she couldn't see there was anything on the ground. So it appears to have gone back to the state it was in when she ran in there in the first place.
So do you want to put like the rod in the middle, like some kind of mousetrap situation, and
No,
then
'cause then
after she
we'd
goes
lose
to
the
pick it
rod,
up?
right?
Well, yeah, but we trap her.
But
Yeah,
but
that's
lit
true.
boots being almost the other side, right? Here it is, come and get it, and then she runs
exactly
through it.
what I'm thinking.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and that because
Lead her in there.
you've got your fancy speedy boots.
She named Zeorge and told him his life was on the line to get this. If we do what you're saying, that means he's in our debt.
Yeah,
And I think we could use having the Prince's soldiers in our debt.
yep.
Aren't they already in our debt though?
No, he was being
From what?
Wow.
he was being a dick.
The
wasn't he?
don't we have the
Dragon thing?
medals?
That just means
That was the Red Falcons.
yeah, that just means we have the same
Prince's
authority, the
seal.
same authority they have.
I see.
But wouldn't it be nice if we could sort of unify all the Prince's soldiers in the city?
I like it.
Yeah, I like
Because
it.
we did a favor for the Red Falcons. If we do a favor for these guys, that's two.
We're about to do another favor for the Red Falcons, by the way. So
which
Well,
is what?
let's-
to get the 12 dragons.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to break that siege to get in
standstill.
there and
But Zorg,
find the research
yeah.
to get
Yeah.
the
Zorg is time sensitive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long's passed.
That's unexplainable.
that.
But
There's
also,
also-
the benefit of that is that we know essentially when this knight is coming back.
Yes.
Whose idea was it to lure
Boot.
Lady Zorgan
I suggested
inspiration?
Ajax.
In
It's true.
You did
Lord,
say
I
Ajax.
I did say
Ajax.
Ajax.
yeah, to put a. I mean, that guy has to have a birthday, right? Just put a
Yeah.
big birthday cake in there.
Very clever, Boots. I like this plan.
So it's 10:05, which is normally when we stop.
Okay.
Good, because I need time to think.
Yeah.
I did not expect this.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff's happened, and I'm a little worried that it's going to be 7:00 next Wednesday, and I'm still going to have no idea what the hell's going to happen next. So I may be pestering you. Maybe we'll have a lunch, a D&D lunch or something. I'm going to be pestering you folks to come up with something that I can prep that counts as content. So yeah, super keen, super looking forward to the campaign diary. It is 10:05. I think we had a great night. There was no battle, there was no combat, but we got through pretty much everything I thought. My notes, which were up on Patreon, I will just release for everybody. And I will see you folks in 7 days. See you next Wednesday.
Rock and roll.